can, ask questions if you need to. Yeah, I'll pass it back to Lawrence. The only thing that I would say with the market right now, I am going to be looking for puts until the market tells me otherwise. I am looking at NASDAQ right now. I'm pulling up another trading views tab real quick just to open up the VIX. I just want to see how the VIX is playing. I looked at it a little bit earlier. I know we're around those 19 levels. Um, so I'm bringing it over here to like a 5-minute chart or lies. I'm taking it over here to a 15-minute chart. So what I'm seeing is that they keep bouncing it over, off of the VIX around here around 1996, right? I have some alerts to let me know if we're going to be going up or down. However, the VIX can bounce and start sending the market down, right? Or the VIX can reject and we can start seeing the market actually go up, right? However, I'll wait till, a little bit more towards the market, like 9:15, it'll give me a better signal. And then we'll move forward from there. My name is Moody Bugs. You can find me on Instagram. I'm not a big social media person. I don't really mind to promote myself like that. However, let me pass the floor back to Lawrence.
All right, y'all give it up for Moody. For those that maybe missed the live last week, me and Moody agreed to do a live here today on Tuesday to help you guys and show you guys really how we get into this market. So y'all give it up for Moody. Y'all drop his name in the chat. We appreciate him taking his time out of his morning. He didn't have to be here. So we want you guys to make sure everybody puts Moody in the chat right now. Put Moody's name in the chat and fire that thing up for him, right? Because he didn't have to be here. He showed up ready to deliver this information. We got 200 plus people right here in the building. So we want to give you your flowers now, right? And say to everyone that's here, 200 plus people, right? And let's continue to add as many people in here as possible. It's Tuesday at a 9 a.m. Some people is just clocking into work. Some people have been to work for an hour. Some people is getting off their overnight shift, right? Some people is in different time zones. We got some people that's in the West Coast, so it's 6:10 a.m. We got some people that's in the UK counting their hours until they get off work. So we want to give a round of applause to everyone who showed up today because it took a level of sacrifice for you to get here, right? Your time is money, your time is precious, and we don't want to waste your time. We also want to give you back more of your time. What's the one way that you can get back some of your time? By getting in this market and getting some money out of this market. So I want you guys to put some fires in the chat for yourself here today for showing up, ready to deliver. All I ask of you today is have your trading view up. I want you to have your trading view up, have your brokerage account up, and really take away from this live trading session. Don't just come in here asking about tickers. Come in here learning steps, processes, seeing and how we navigate as each of us share our screens and show you guys exactly what we're looking for. Take away the steps and the processes so you can duplicate it for yourself. A lot of times in the trading communities, people are looking to rely on people forever. We don't want you to rely on Moody. We don't want you to rely on me. We want you to take the principles and the teachings that we're giving you to be able to execute it for yourself. That's what it is, right? I see Mandy's in the chat. Mandy's a 2 to 3 time student of the month winner in my community. Why? Because she executes. Anytime there's a Zoom open, she's here. Anytime she can get some extra work in, she's on her charts. She's studying. You have to be disciplined in this, right? You have to be someone who's putting in the work. I see Remar stepped into the building, right? I got Cleve. I got his pre-market notes as I opened up this Zoom, right? Cleve is sending me a text message, one of my top students, with all his pre-market levels in his notes. This is what I'm looking at today, coach. That's what I want you guys to really become accustomed to, is setting yourself up for success, right? So let's go ahead and get into this thing. We are live. So let's go ahead and kind of give some rundown. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for a little bit. I'll let Moody take over. What time is it? 9:12. I'll let Moody take over maybe around 9:20, 9:21 to maybe show some of the things in the pre-market that he has. And then, of course, the market opens at 9:30. All right. So let's talk about overnight action. Let's walk you through the steps and the processes, usually around, first few things in the morning. Moody was talking about the VIX. So let's get an update here on our VIX. Right now, we're currently here at 20, right? So that VIX, which is our fear index, right? I want you guys to look at that. It's currently here at 20. So when the VIX usually breaks, and I have something that I'm going to share with you guys here today, it's my VIX strategy guide, right? So let's go over that real quick. right? To make sure everybody's on one accord and one system. 1 second, should be coming through. Waiting. There we go. There she goes. Got a guide for everything, ladies and gentlemen. Right. So this is my understanding of VIX and how to strategically navigate the market. Usually when the VIX is right above 20, right? So when the VIX is above 20, the market tends to experience sell-offs, right? Followed by equally strong reversals, right? So yesterday was an equally strong reversal. Yesterday, the NASDAQ was up almost 2.5%. You see large price swings become more frequent when the VIX is above 20. So when we get these big days on the street, you notice when the market's at an all-time high, we may get like a 0.5% move, maybe 1/4% move. But when the VIX goes up and the market pulls back, that's where we see a lot of times the more major moves like yesterday, right? Which was a 2.5 day on the NASDAQ. Now, once the VIX breaks back below 20, after it was elevated above, so hence we're trying potentially to make it below 20. When the VIX drops back below, that means that the buying activity increases. The NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, and the S&P 500, they start to go ahead and recover, right? Now, one of the things that we talk about is why should you sell puts when the VIX is high? The main reason that you should look to sell puts when the VIX is high is because option premiums become more expensive. This is a great time for you to sell put options. One, because usually if the VIX went up, that means the stocks that maybe you were interested in came down, right? So selling puts when the market drops, right, is a great strategy if you understand where your discounts are at. So if there's a stock like SMCI, just using this as example, right, that you could get at $30 a share, right? And you want to sell a cash secure put, that could be an opportunity. So you want to look maybe Robinhood at $100, just giving examples, right? Where you could sell cash secure puts at, right? So selling cash secure puts is a great way to collect income, but also potentially buy names that you're interested in long term. So that gives you that breakdown on the VIX. So let's come here. So we keep our VIX up on your Yahoo Finance. We had a VIX here at 20. You can also find the VIX in this area. So let's talk about probabilities and setup. So in the community right now, how many people are in AMD puts? If you're in AMD puts already from yesterday's session, right? For all my people that's in my community, drop AMD puts in the chat. So if you're in AMD puts, I want you guys to drop some fires in the chat today. We got into AMD yesterday. The stock is down $14 here this morning. Let's walk through exactly what happened. So we always look for what the headline is, right? So what is the headline news for today? When you come here to your Yahoo Finance, you'll see headline news. Alphabet right now is going through a major shift and move right now. You got Alphabet Inc. is up after hours. You also have AVGO. So if you notice a couple of things, trending tickers, Broadcom is up about $12 today. You could be looking and saying, why is it that Broadcom is up, but then you're noticing that NVIDIA and AMD are both down? Now, AMD is down at $15. NVIDIA is down here $7 and change. Well, there's a little bit of news that dropped. Essentially, Broadcom and Google, right? There's Amazon is going to be investing $50 billion, right? So this is a more of a news-driven sell-off, not really. It did have a price level break where we drew a diagonal trend line here from the bottom. So we took it from the bottom of this channel, right here, bottom of this channel, Friday, 195, and we stretched it all the way to the top here at 212, right? So you see that here right now. Now we have this price channel where we broke this trend. So we usually like to draw diagonal trend lines either from the bottom. In this case, we drew it from the bottom, stretched it across. Notice yesterday it hit here at 6 a.m. Then as price broke down, this was all this morning, price came here to the downside and sold off, right? So that was the reason that we saw that specific trade play out like that. Next stock that we want to look at today, we're going to be watching MU, right? So we'll probably more than likely close out AMD at open because it'd be right in demand. Prices move right back into demand. I got another 4 minutes and I'll turn it over to Moody here and we'll come back to me here in a second. But now if you look, MU, we're looking for it to price to potentially revert back downward to 214.75, right? So since MU actually broke this channel and this trend, same thing. Notice where the selling started to really take place. So as we broke, I drew this from Friday's low. Price rallied $30, essentially 30 points, right? $30. And it actually came up there to the upside. Now let's get my QQQ analysis for essentially really for today, right? For the QQQ. So if you're looking here at the Qs, you see right now we're currently at 603. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch my line all the way up here, right? Have my diagonal trend line at a 45 essential degree angle, right? So now drew it from the bottom here on Friday. Same thing. If we break underneath 602.96, we should watch that area here on, right, the QQQ. 602.96. You want to watch that area here on the Qs. We could retrace back downwards, potentially another $5 coming down there to 596.91. So that's important for us to look at and to monitor and to watch. Now, also, another particular equity that we are going to be paying attention to today, right, is going to be, again, 1 second, we pull this stock up. I want you guys to watch Tesla, and I'm explaining as to why here on TSLA, why I want you to watch Tesla. So come here to the 30-minute or the hour time frame, whichever you prefer. So now we're going to take our trend line tool and we're going to draw it from here, the Thursday peak point, with this wick. So you want to watch Tesla here. You can also use it in a descending pattern. So if you notice, Tesla did not break over this 420. So if Tesla doesn't get over 420 today, it's likely to pull back down and reject. But if it gets above 420, we can expect price to rally to 424. And then after that, 429.74. So we're watching Tesla here as well on this 30-minute time frame. We also could be forming what we call a bull flag. So we do want to keep that abreast, right? So we could have a bull flag pattern, right, that is forming right now. So if Tesla breaks the top of this flag above 420, right, it will break out and head to the upside. So we are keeping our eyes there. Now, if Tesla does reject, right, it could pull all the way down here to from 414 to 405. And the last ticker is my ticker directly from the weekly watch list for people that watch my page. Always, you'll notice that here at the bottom of the channel in the trend, we have on here on Oracle. I just want to go solo screen here. Watch Oracle on this downside action. I want to show you a couple of things, and I'm going to turn this thing over to Moody, right? So he can get busy. So there's a couple of things that I want to show you guys. First thing is I want you guys to look at Oracle down here. There's a gap underneath this 191. There's a gap all the way down to 178. So we want to look at Oracle underneath this 191 level for a movement back down, back to 178.38. So on Oracle specifically, the best thing to do would be able to be in some puts for March contracts, February or March contracts, 200 to 210 strikes, right, on Oracle. So take that note down. So you have that here, the 200 to 210 strikes on Oracle, which are two targets, being below this 191. Ideally, we want to see price come all the way down there to 178. So that's your information there as far as Oracle. Oracle has been a stock that's been continuing to make lower lows and lower highs and has been selling off here, as you can see, dating back to the 16th of October. So you want to watch price potentially move down there underneath that 192 all the way to 178. Now, that 178 ain't going to happen today. I want to make that clear. But price will start to continue to trend downward if we can break underneath 192. So it is 922. I'll come back on, but I'll give Moody his chance to go ahead and share his pre-market notes. Go ahead, Moody.
I'm pretty simple, y'all. I don't be with all the extra. Not saying that Lawrence, bro, that was fire what you did. Now, what I want to tell y'all is I'm gonna trade the market opening. If Lawrence wants, if you're gonna trade the market opening, of course I'll just give it back to you for you to share your
Nah,
screen.
I don't usually take trades until after 15, 20 minutes. So you could take
Oh,
the opener. Yeah, it's easy. You could take the opener.
All right, so this is what I'm gonna tell y'all. I heard what Lauren said. So let's go ahead and trade. Let's make some money. I'm a very unique individual. I get everything that I get from source, to be honest with you. Um, I'm just a spiritual individual. I don't call myself God for no reason. Do your research behind me. However, you want a pre-market analysis, I'm sharing my screen right now. Y'all can see it. I'm looking for shorts. I'm looking at the Nasdaq, right? I have already charted my chart. So once I trade, I will delete my whole entire chart and rechart it for you so that you can learn how to chart. Charting is extremely easy, right? So what I'm seeing right now, I want to go for these shorts. However, they came down and they swept liquidity, right? We trade bar by bar. Most people don't know that. However, I've been watching them when they had this tweezer bottom reversal. They gave us a tweezer top reversal back down. You can ask me any questions. I know everything about this chart. Um, I speak in confidence, so don't look at like, don't try to take information that you've heard from anybody else where it's like, hey, nobody knows this and the third, man. I know what I'm doing, right? So ask whatever questions you want. I'm not a gatekeeper. I don't care to tell you the exact entries or how to trade. Um, my whole thing is for you to be able to save yourself and save your family, right? However, what I'm seeing right now is the best thing to always do. I'm on a 5 minute, and this is a 5 second chart over here. I trade on a 5 second chart. I used to, it's because I taught myself how to trade on a 1 minute chart, and the 1 minute chart doesn't move fast enough anymore for me, right? So I like to like start on a bigger time frame, right? So I'm on a 4 hour right now. As I look at this 4 hour, we already ran out, we swept liquidity, right? I'll teach you what liquidity is. It's the top of these wicks, right? Liquidity is all top of wicks and bottom of wicks, right? So right now, we're playing at market structure. I'm looking to see if we're going to break this 50% retracement that I had drawn from a 15-minute chart, right? So 9 times out of 10, what they're going to want to do is sweep out this liquidity. Do they have to? No, they don't, right? So I'm going to wait for the market opening. Um, I may jump right into it as soon as the market opens, or I may just give it like a few seconds or a couple of minutes just to see what direction they're truly wanting to take. Yeah, right now I'm looking for puts, right? If we look at anything and we just look at the structure, right? This is a 5 second chart. We could just see higher lows, right? High lows, high lows, high lows, high lows, high lows, high lows. And my blue lines are market structure, right? So what I'm seeing is how they're rejecting all of that, right? So one thing that most traders need to understand when trading, right? See, I'm not giving you like all these market analysis and anything. I'm literally teaching you how to trade. Whereas like this is the swing low, right? This is the swing high. This is all you have to understand about trading. Swing low, swing high. That's what highlights your market structure. When you hear someone say market structure, all they're talking about is support and resistance, swing highs and swing lows, right? So this swung all the way low, took out the price action to the left, right? So I'm gonna start from right here. This swung high and took out that liquidity, that liquidity, that liquidity, that liquidity, and that liquidity. Came back down. They want to take out this liquidity. However, they're going to have to break this level first, right? And play support and resistance. You see how they swept that liquidity, came back down, swept the liquidity, came back up. I'm going to tell you right now, this shit is going to drop all the way down here to the 50. Don't be surprised if I ever am talking on the chart and I'm saying, hey, look, this is about to happen. And it literally happens, right? It's not that I'm a genius. It's just my confidence. It's just I've been doing this for quite some time. I don't lecture people. I don't do all that stuff. Why? Because I treat people how I want to be treated. I don't want a motherfucker to lecture me. I do my best to not utilize profanity. However, I utilize my emotions. I am not a liar. People be like, hey, do not trade with your emotions. You're a motherfucking liar. You're probably not even profitable talking like that. I utilize my emotions when I'm trading. What I do with my emotions is that I cannot control them. I've been on planet Earth for 34 years of age. I cannot control my emotions. I am from the Bronx. Even though I'm positive, if you slap me 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you, right? Doesn't matter how great of a person I am, right? Because that's me managing my emotions. That's what I figured out. I cannot control my emotions. I can manage my emotions, right? That's when you start to realize, wow, I am not in control of this life, yet I am in control that I'm not in control, right? God is beautiful, right? If you believe that God is beautiful, drop a G in the chat and praise God. That's why I'm where I'm at, because I praise God. And I tell people who the true and living God is. And I make you feel great about yourself, whether you got a job or not, because I had a job and my mom fucking cleans toilets for a living. So I'm not going to make you feel bad about that, right? We're getting a little bit of volatility coming in right now. It is 9:27. Pulling it over to the VIX, I have two alerts, right? Let's bring your little ass up about right here, because I'll be too late. And let's bring this bad boy like about right here. So all I'm looking at is 28. If I see boop 28, I already know for a fact we're dropping. If I see boop 96, right, or 02, I already know. Okay, we're going up, right? Because the VIX is actually going to give you a signal before anything else. Most people are going to be like, "Oh, it's ES or it's SPY." No, it's not. It's the VIX, and the VIX is just the volatility. It is not the inverse of SPY. We got 2 minutes before this market open up. I got the 5 second on my phone. I'm gonna go ahead and put the 15 second up here. Why am I doing that? Because I'm utilizing multiple time frame analysis, and I'm gonna rip them a new one. Right? I don't play with these people. I look at them like devils. Why? Because they could be telling you how to get this money, but they're not telling you. So we got like 2 minutes, right? I'm sharing my screen, so let me drop this down to a 5 minute and teach you how to just read time frames where you don't got to be looking at this right here, right? So what we got, 1 minute and 3 seconds left before the market opens up, right? This is where you look at your time at, right here. I'll teach you how to literally look at your chart. I will be utilizing my RSI as well. I will tell you a gem on the RSI once we finish trading and make some money. I would like to take calls above this white line or this white line, one of the two. We'll see which one. But I want it to hold right now. I'm gonna stay with the puts. Me, any hard rejection or break of blue levels, I'll jump into puts. But I will let you know. I'll be like, hey, look, I'm in puts. I'm in puts. What I would tell you to do is already, if you're using Robinhood or whatever, already be at your strike price. Already be ready to buy. That's what I do. I'm already here. It's just I'm trading futures, so I have my trader bait connected to my trading views. I'm just faster on the phone with my finger instead of like moving this mouse. All right, what we got? 1 second, boom, market open. Let's go. All right, it's crossing, just tapped that 50% retracement. Boom, what a nice volatility. Let's go. Let's go. Don't be scared of the volatility. All right, so this is our range right here, right? I'm still gonna be looking for puts. All right, I'm grabbing puts now, y'all. I'm in puts. And I'm gonna scale just a little bit. It's only about $400. Take another scale right here. All right. I'm gonna add to this position if I get a nice hard rejection. All right, I'm adding. All right. Let's go ahead and scale it right here. I got 2 contracts left. I'm gonna hold. I'm looking to break this white line right here. If we can break this white line, it's gonna be beautiful. We take out this liquidity right here at the purple, and we're gonna scale right there. Scale. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Still holding this one. Completely, I'll be completely out at this blue line here. If it dares to try to go over this blue line right there, all right, completely out the trade. Bow. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We'll take some more trades, don't worry. So that was the range that I was talking about, right? I already knew we're gonna head to take out this liquidity or this liquidity first. That's the swing low right there. Bow, bow. You won't be able to see it because I'm on a 15 second. Bring it down to the 5 second, you'll be able to see it, right? I seen us break, bow. I took it all the way down to take out that liquidity. That liquidity is coming. You're not gonna understand it because I already charted my chart. It's coming from a 4 hour time frame, right? That was that liquidity right there that I was talking about. That I was like, hey, we're gonna have to come sweep out this liquidity first, right? So that's what happens in the market, right? Now we got two reversals, right? If we break this reversal pattern here, you can short again, right? So let me get ready. I don't even want to check my P&L right now. I know I just banked. All right, I'm about to get ready for some more puts. If we can leave this white line and stay below it, we're grabbing puts. And if you brave, you could get them at the rejection at the 50 mark. I mean, since I know that they swept liquidity, I just want to wait, see how they react. Yeah, I'm really getting ready to get these puts. If they keep rejecting that level, I'm gonna get these puts. Dropping it over here to the 2 minute chart. Time frame is starting to move. We just got a new 2 minute candlestick. Don't ask me how I know. It's just annoying. We got a nice tweets bottom reversal, so let's go ahead and be careful. I'll teach you about them. Tweets bottom, morning star, tweets tops. It's all that happens on the chart. Once you can realize it, you'll be able to like really do what you need to do. So what I'm looking is to see if they're going to break this trend, right? They're looking like they're breaking the trend. However, it's a little form of consolidation here towards the right. We keep getting these tweezed bottoms. I'm watching it right here as it's reversing. So just being patient. We're already just banked, right? So there's no reason to like, oh, let me just rush into the market. Nah, I want a sniper entry. All right, they keep rejecting this 50. I'm gonna drop it down to the 1 minute. We got a nice inverted pin bar that's coming up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some shorts now. I'm in shorts and I'm scaling out. Let's go. Fucking beautiful move. Beautiful move. Beautiful move. I got 3 contracts left. I'm gonna hold these. I'm down right now. Let's see if we can reject this 50. My stop will be this second blue line right here. Anything above it and holding. We're approaching entry point again right now. We're at break even, just flirting with it. It is bouncing off of it. We got a little Morningstar reversal right here. Let's just be patient. Let's be patient. It's a nice big ass bear flag overall pattern. Just be patient. I know it doesn't feel good to be in a trade and it's not moving strictly in your direction, right? All right. I may get stopped out. I may get stopped out because they're holding over the 50% retracement, just waiting. All right. They stopped me out. I'm out. And that was the blue line right there, right? So you see me win my first trade and you see me lose my second trade and I'm still up for the day. Let me go ahead and check my P&L. Yes, I'm up 2,000 right now. 22. All right, so let's pay attention. They're still going to short this market. They just swept out and swept out the liquidity and got my ass, right? You see that nice reversal right here. So what I'm going to see is how they play this 50. If they can stay below here, we'll short them. If they don't, then we'll start looking for calls. Sweet, sweet. That's resistance right here. They're not holding in. Let's see if they can hold that resistance. Before a candlestick wants to pull out liquidity, they have to break resistance. Man, they want a short. I'm gonna just need to get a short high.
First target hit on Oracle.
Let's go. Good stuff, bro. Good stuff. I'm gonna get some more shorts. I'm gonna get some more shorts. I just want to grab her a little bit high. All right, I'm starting position right now, and I'm gonna save an ad. I'm gonna save an ad. We're in profits at the moment. No skills for me just yet. I'm gonna look to add at a high just in case she wants to pop. There she goes with that pop. I'm looking to add, waiting to see if she wants to sweep the liquidity before I add right here. All right. Let's just see if she'll pop one more time. There it is. I'm watching this liquidity level. This is where I'm going to go ahead and enter to that 50% retracement. There it is. All right, I'm adding. All right, we're almost at break even. All right, there we are. Let's go ahead and break that blue level. We break that blue level, we're going to be deep in our profits. Let's just give it a second. There it is. I'm going to scale out just a little bit. All right, I'm scaling out, not completely, but I'm just going to hold 2 contracts here. I just have 2 contracts holding right now. I want to see if we could break this 50% retracement and milk her. If we can't, then it's okay. I'm about to cut these 2 contracts. I don't want to give too much money, but I'll cut it above the white line and holding. Above this white line and holding. Above this white line and holding. We got a nice little blue flag right there. She's about to stop me out. She rejected it. Let's see. She keeps rejecting it. Let's stay patient. There we go, baby. Milk her. Break the 50% retracement. Stop acting like I don't know what this market is doing. There we go. I'm going to scale out and hold 1 contract. I should have freaking added. I was acting like a little punk. There we go. We just broke. Let's see if we can reject it and drop it all the way down to this blue line here. Dang, I stopped. I forgot to record myself. I'm starting to record now. It's pretty late, but it's cool. All right. I'm still holding here. Let's see if we can reject this 50% retracement or if she wants to get back over it. I need to be able to break this level here. I need to break this reversal. If I can break that reversal, we're going to be great. We're going to be great if I can break that reversal. However, let's go ahead and chart it so that we know that we can break it, right? Put a 50% retracement on it. So I can see that that's why we're bouncing off of here. We're gonna have to break this 50% retracement, right? We always are tracing. Okay, okay. It's getting closer to my entry. I'm still holding it. It's only one contract. I'm just watching it to see if she's trying to swing high to swing back low. I don't want anything above here because that's my entry. I'll end up cutting it. My entry is like a little bit above it. Ooh, right there. I'm just holding to see if it give me the nice little rejection here. Just being patient. There we go. We really need to break this 50% retracement. I'm just staying patient for it. I'm just staying patient for it. We're day trading it now instead of scalping it, right? We want to break this level and stay under this level. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. All praise due to Allah. All right, let's make sure that we stay under this 50% retracement. We got a nice little rejection off of it. Gave us a morning star, piercing through, sweeping out liquidity. Let's see what happens. What I want is, there it is, a rejection. I want to stay under it. There it is. It may stop me out. We're still good. We're still good. As you see, it keeps rejecting this level here. It keeps rejecting that level, right? Got some liquidity here. Let's go ahead and get a big red bar to sweep all this liquidity and get it under this 50% retracement. We do that. Oh my God, we're the man. All right. Hopefully it doesn't stop me out. And even if it does, we got some great scales out of this. We got some great scales. I love how it keeps rejecting here. I love how it just keeps rejecting right there. There it is. That's the sweep of that liquidity so that you understand it, right? So now the liquidity is sitting right here and right here, right? So now we got to just reject this level and sweep out all this liquidity and come under this 50% retracement. Come on, baby. Come on. Come to daddy. Come on, come to daddy. There it is. There it is. Told you. Told you. There it is. There it is. There it is. I'm just holding because it's one contract. Oh my gosh, she left my dang, she's gonna bounce off my support. You fucking little bitch. Sorry, excuse my language. All right, let's go ahead and break the support here. Let me come over here. Oh, drop it over to a 15 since I'm holding this contract. There's only about like $2,000 on this contract, so it's not no biggie. Let's see if we take it to the next reversal pattern. Right. So now I'm just gonna trail her down. I'm gonna use this blue line here. I don't want it to go over here. I'll end up getting out the trade. It's only one contract. Let me see. We got a nice little rejection. There we go. All righty. Come on, baby girl. All right, I'll bring it right here. All right. And this is me just trailing her out so I don't have to, so I don't force myself staying in this trade too long. Right. Now she wants to keep printing and give me more money. Great. Amazing. Amazing. Right. Cool. What we got left? We got a new 5 minute just came in. Okay, cool. We draining that 5 minute. That's beautiful. All right. So that means, oh no, we got a new 15 minute as well. Let's be careful. Let's be careful. All right. If she goes above this blue line, I'm out. If she goes above this blue line, I'm out. I got her by the horns right now. She's trying to reverse. She's giving us some structure here. We got a nice morning star reversal here. She's sweeping liquidity. She's holding. We need to break that level here. That's her support. You see that? Bow. There we go. Come on, sweep liquidity. Break that level here. Break that level. Girl, stop acting like I don't know you. Come on now. I'll take you out for dinner. I promise you. There we go. Take the liquidity. Take the liquidity. Take the liquidity. Take the liquidity. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, Vixie, let's go. Let me just take one look at her. Oh my gosh, beautiful. And I got a fucking hammer. Hammer up, bitch. All right. I'm gonna just go ahead and take full profits. Oh, hold on. I just got a nice rejection. Let me just hold. It's only one contract. It's only one contract. It's only up 2,931. Come on. I just got there. Break her. Break her. Sweep. Sweep. Sweep it. Sweep it. Sweep it. All right, get off of this time frame. Understanding. Okay, I'm on a 5. That's cool. Ooh, just fluctuate. Just fluctuate. Just fluctuate. Fluctuate. Fluctuate and take me to the next support. Take me to the next support. Where are you going? You got to come here. Break this level. Come on. Come on, this is the liquidity. I see it. Mark it so you know it. There it is, purple. Come on, reject it. Reject it. Reject. Come on, you already tested the level. Break straight through it. Tell you. Let's go. Give me my fucking money. That's 3,700. That's 3,900. I'm taking that. That's 42. Done. Done for the motherfucking day. That's it. That simple. As I mentioned, I don't got time to lecture nobody or do all this. What you want is money, and that's what I'm going to provide you with. That's what you want, money, right? You want life-changing money? There you have it. You know what I'm saying? If you was trading with me, and 9 times out of 10, after I do this, I'll just be like, okay, who's up? If you're up, drop a one in the chat. If you're down, drop a two in the chat. All right, let me know what you down by. How much money, right? If it's nothing crazy, maybe like, 1,200 across a couple of accounts, I'll just recover it for you. I'll be like, all right, cool. Look, I'm gonna tell you the trades and things of that nature, right? If you're in my community, you could drop a three in the chat if I'm saying the truth, right? If I'm lying, say I'm lying. However, now that I've done that, and I know that Lawrence is only like 15 minutes into the market, not even 15 minutes into the market. Um, if you guys would like me to chart up a ticker, go ahead and ask. However, the first thing that I'm gonna do for you is just remove everything on my chart, and I'm gonna show you how to trade real quick, right? Um, Somebody throw me out. Oh, I gotta open up the chat. Y'all can't unmute yourselves. Somebody throw me. Okay, I saw Netflix first, so I'll go to Netflix next. However, somebody throw me a ticker if you want me to chart this on a specific ticker, and I'm gonna show you how to enter a trade. If you want me to do it right here on NASDAQ, I will. You was you was trading the NASDAQ, yep, and I still have the NASDAQ up, right? So like right here, if you wanted to go for calls, right? I'm telling you right now, don't go for calls unless it goes over that white line. You go for puts. You could go for puts right here, but I would tell you, yeah, now that the price action's right here, you go for puts right here, right? Your first target is gonna be right here. Wow, right? Make it red. Your first target to the calls is gonna be right here, make it green, right? And if I'm lying, it won't happen. It won't happen if I'm lying. Yeah, it will happen. You see that? Entry point. Smacked out the liquidity every time. The thing is, most people just don't know how to trade. They don't know how to enter a trade. That's all. And they ask the wrong things, right? And me being a real coach, you don't want to ask me the wrong things. Me, you want to ask me the wrong things. Why? Because I'm an honest, righteous person. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Yet, as soon as you start talking to me about time frame, I already know you know nothing about trading. Oh, what time frame do I need to get on? Why? Because the time frame is the same thing on all across all time frames, 1 hour, 4 hour, we're doing the same thing. It's just depending if you're wanting to scout, day trade, or long-term invest, whatever the case may be, right? Um, Let me pull up the chat. I think somebody has said, what is your info handle? If it's cool with Lawrence giving it out, I'll give it out. I just don't like promoting
Yeah.
myself to people's
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. You ain't here working. Let's get it.
Moody
Let's get
Buck.
it.
So this is my Instagram right here. Instagram right here. Profile. This is my Instagram right here, Moody Bucks.
Yes, sir.
However, let's get back to the charts. So, long story short, I'll pull up Netflix and I'll tell you something about Netflix. And before I even tell you something about Netflix, I'm here to give you gems, right? Everybody know what the RSI is? Drop a one in the chat if you know what the RSI is. I'm gonna give you the biggest gem of the RSI that you don't know. And yes, if you don't know how to trade, you can trade the RSI. All right, cool. Here's your biggest gem on the RSI. Change your levels, right? I changed my levels back in 2020. I was about to say 2022. Yeah, it was 2022. 2022. I was trading regular in 2021, and I got tired of saying words. I don't like to sound like other people. So you're not gonna hear me say, "Oh, I got faked out," or "It's choppy." I don't even like to sound like people. I won't even say that. The market is not choppy. You're choppy, so it's chopping you up, right? So long story short, you normally have it on 70. I bring it to 75, right? The high, right? 75. 50, leave it at 50. 25, leave it at 25. 20, put it at 25. All right. So now you're gonna understand why I knew to just keep shorting the market. Watch this, my loved ones. Bulls, you only buy once it's over here. See, if you're brave, go ahead and drop some calls in there. Oh, it's not doing it. It has to refresh. Let me refresh it. Let me see if it does it. Stay on. Bow. All right, now my computer's lagging, but look, there it is, right? Where once the RSI is holding over that 50 mark, that's where you want to start to buy calls and things of that nature. Why is that? Because that's the uptrend territory. Let me just close this out so I'm not even trying to like trade and show you. Look at, and I'm gonna just start it. from, let me open it up a little bit. And it doesn't matter the time frame, right? Well, it does, and I'll let you know. Right? You see right here, anything from the 25 to the 50 is called a downtrend area. That's your downtrend. So if you don't understand what a downtrend is and you can't figure it out on the charts, just look at your RSI. If it's under the 50 mark, down to the 25, I don't care how many times it goes up and down. That's why you heard me say fluctuate, fluctuate. Why? Because if it goes up and down, now look at your charts. I don't care. If it goes up and down, the chart is going to continue to drain. Do you not see that? You see the candlesticks? It's going to drain over and over and over. Why? Because it's in downtrend territory. Now, when we're in the uptrend territory, you see that right here? This is still downtrending, right? Because it's coming from the bottom and rejecting and staying here. But you see how it's holding right there? That's the 50. That's why it's holding. That's the consolidation. Get it? Now, the 50 to the 75, that's your uptrend area. Watch. All right, let me just bring you to the chart when we're actually holding it up, right? As you look right here, you see where price is at all the way down here. Let's go ahead and put some levels on here so that you can see it, right? See, the chart can't lie to you. Boom, right there. 24.8, right? Say you bought it right there and you just held and you didn't get scared of the fluctuation because you understand what Moody told you. If it goes up and down, unless it doesn't, once it breaks and holds under here, get out your trade. If it doesn't, just be patient. It's gonna go back up. You see that? See when it dropped right here? See where it's at right there? Go right here. That's the high. Okay, cool. Look at the fluctuation. Look at the fluctuation. Bow. Took you where? All the way up here. Now you would have bought at 24.8. You would have been at 24.89. And that's just the RSI, right? What I tell people is if someone's speaking on the chart or speaking about something, every woman here will understand me. You should be able to flip it and saute it. A woman knows how to make you different type of eggs. Scrambled eggs, sunny side up, fried hard. You should be able to do that with your RSI, with your candlesticks and everything. If you don't, what I would tell you is maybe you need to abort the ship. Courtship, friendship, everything has a ship behind it. So that ship is designed to what? Take you somewhere. If that ship is not taking you somewhere, right? Maybe you're on the wrong ship. And I love speaking like that because that's Lawrence energy. He'll always tell you that. Me, I say it a little bit different, where it's like, you can't waste my time. Even if you got a one-on-one session, you can't waste my time. Why? Because I love to do this. It's a burning desire. If anything, you just wasted your time by talking to someone that really knows what he's doing, right? So let's go ahead and pull up Netflix and FLX. That's the first ticker I had saw,
Yeah,
right?
I'll take over after that.
All right, awesome. So I'm gonna just drop it over here. I like to start at sometimes a 13-hour time frame, right? Reason being, the 13th man, right? Joshua. And I like morning stars and evening stars, right? Yahshua, don't be scared of the morning star. You just didn't read Revelations 22:16, so you don't know that Yahshua is the bright morning star. So that's why I'm trading it. Everything is very biblical with me. My father told me what to do already, right? So with that being said, I'm coming over here to Netflix, right? Now that I just told you evening stars and morning stars, that's all you're seeing on the chart. Evening star, morning star, evening star, morning star, evening star, morning star. Why? Because this is his time frame. You get it? The 13th man, the 12 disciples, it's his time frame. So I shall be able to see your morning stars and your evening stars. And what is this telling me? To short them for the rest of the effing day. Why? Because we have an evening star, right? What is the evening star? That is a bearish reversal. That's the second reversal that you get on the chart. Most people want to buy the bottom of the top, but they don't know what it is. It's the tweezer bottom or the tweezer top. That's what gives you your reversal. Those are the reversals on the time frame. The tweezer bottom creates the morning star. The tweezer top creates the evening star, right? You see that evening star right here? Yeah. And why I'm telling you to short them for the rest of the day, because this is a 13-hour chart. You got what? 7 hours of trading, right? It just told you what to do for the rest of the day. Now you can break down the time frames and manipulate it, right? So what I would tell you is, um, one, that's your support right here. This big blue line that I'm gonna draw. That's your support. Easy to draw support and resistance. For anybody that doesn't know it, just use the bodies of your candlesticks. Next body, right there. Next body, right there. Look to your left. You've seen some bodies right there, right there. Right? That's how you draw support and resistance. The bodies of your candlesticks. See how I moved it off the wick and put it on the body? There you go. Right? That's the liquidity that they're gonna go take. So Netflix is going to be heading down to about 103, right? That's the liquidity that they're going to be wanting to take. Once you do that, break it down to smaller time frames, hit it to the 4. You can still see the evening star right there, right? Heading down to that support, right? To be able to break it, right? Go ahead and get that support. All I did was shift H to just go ahead and put it there. You know what I'm saying? And grab liquidity where you know where liquidity is going to be heading to, right? You can always just go to a larger time frame and just grab them, right? Where it's like, all right, I see one right here, right? Liquidity is going to be the bottom of your and that liquidity already got taken out because you can see the candlestick went through it. So I would just delete that and come down to the next one and come down to the next one and come down to the next one. The bottom of those wicks and even the bottoms of the candlesticks, right? That's where it's going to want to play out, right? Me being on this 16-hour time frame, I could already just see price action right here. I know to go all the way to my left. I know to take this big ass bar right here. This is the bar to go down. This is the bar to go up. Most people don't understand that, right? Because the market does everything simultaneously and accordingly to price action, right? So right here is letting me know where it's like, look, I broke through that range, broke straight through the 50% retracement, rejected it. Now I'm going back down. No reason to be looking at that because I'm not going up. I'm going down, right? So I'm gonna grab it from right here. Next, hitting that 50% retracement. I just explained it with the other candlestick, right? However, I don't want to be a ball hog or anything of that nature. Let me go ahead and pass it over to Lawrence. I'm more than positive everybody made some money. Drop a 1 in the chat if you made money. Nice to meet y'all. And I'll stay on here just to see how the flow goes and just in case anybody wants me to chart up some charts and give them some levels. Let me stop sharing my screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all give it up for Moody. Moody's in the building. Had a good time. Good time. Good time. Sitting back, listening. I'm gonna take back over. And let me go ahead and share my screen. See, I'll give it up for Moody. Drop his name in the chat a few times for us today. Super appreciative of him being in the building. I'm catching that NASDAQ drop early on in the session. So super, super dope. Love to see it. And I appreciate his time for being here. So now I want to go through his 9:55. Usually around this time, if I'm already not in a trade, right, then I'm looking to kind of be able to see swing trade setups wise. So let me go ahead and share my screen. For those that follow me, you guys know I'm primarily really a swing trader more than a day trader. Right. So we did have that AMD position overnight as well. So everyone should have closed AMD. The reason why we wanted to close AMD at these levels, right? If you've made some money off AMD today, I want to see some fires in the chat from all my AMD people who made money. I want to see some money in the chat, some fires in the chat. Let's explain our roundabout, especially when it comes down to closing, right? So now we have AMD, which came back down here and broke this structure and this trend here overnight and broke down below 211. Well, now where is AMD showing where there's liquidity at, where are the buyers at, right? So buyers are right here at that 195 area. So let's go to the 5 and a 15 minute just to show you see this long wick. So the buyer step right in here, right there, that 195 area pushed us back up, making a lower high, potentially before then going and making a lower low. So always remember price moves in lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. So that break of that structure there, we always as well have our anytime we're trading an individual equity, we want to make sure that we have the index up as well. Right? So one of the biggest mistakes, and I touched on this last night, that I made as a beginner trader, right, is not having the index up at the same time when you are trading an individual equity. So knowing where your equity belongs to, you notice that I have AMD and QQQ right side by side. Where is AMD belong to? It belongs to the QQQ. So you should have all times the index right next to your individual equity that you're actually looking at in trading. So can't stress the importance of that to make sure that you're following those practices. It makes it easier on you. So you're not putting yourself in a position where one, you're not paying attention to the overall direction of that specific trend. So now I have been able to see the market be open for about 30 minutes, kind of let that beginning price action. I mean, that open and price action Moody just showed you guys, especially from a scalper's perspective, that downward movement that you saw right away sets yourself up really good in the beginning. So, really good price action there that kicked us off for today. Now I look at the other tickers. throughout. So I'll go throughout my watch list and I'll look. I see same thing, same practice on here on NVIDIA. So majority of the downside action move happened within the first 30 minutes of the day and overnight last night on some of the tickers, right? So you had majority of the tickers that actually moved here to the downside. So when I see that, you do have QQQ, which is now retracing back upwards. You had a QQQ, you have MU, you have all these different stocks, individual equities, which are now moving back to the upside, right? Which is, once again, really good if you are thinking about now looking for your next opportunity and area to go short. What I always tell people is it's good in the morning time, right, to let things play out. But when things do move back to the upside, you can a lot of times get a good short position once price moves back upwards. Right. So you don't never want to really just hop in and look to hold positions, especially when price is hitting support. That's the time to close it out. And Moody was just explaining and showing that to you guys. So a really good move here, opening day, right? Really good opening bell move. Um, Now a lot of those losses that we just had actually being erased. So let's go here to the S&P 500 and show you as prices coming off this low. So notice here how quick, right, things can turn around. This is one candle, one specific candle. So we shot down, price shot right there to that 66510. Now within the past 10 minutes here, literally since I took back over, the SPY is back positive. So that goes to show you once again, when the VIX is elevated, right? When you come here to the VIX and the VIX is elevated, this goes ahead and shows you here now. So the VIX actually came down here to 20 and we popped a little bit. So the VIX, you do have that there. So that's where we do have the market is kind of hitting that 20 point. Let's see if we can break out more. We can see some more upside. But as far as for shorts now, you would want to really pause on those for now because the market just came back up, looking to trap people going short. So you want to be careful, just hopping into any shorts at these levels. Wait for things to really fizzle and settle down. Wait for solid resistance points. So what I do have is particularly I would watch 670, right? So I would set up 670 break. So I never trade without the index, right? Even if I'm trading outside of the SPY, the QQQ, which I do trade, I'm looking at the overall index. You notice that this candle is just a long wick. That means that there was more buyers. Buyers stepped right back in there at that level, at that 665 area. So now, being as we had shorts on a few companies, whether it was Oracle came down, hit target one, already back at 191. AMD, we covered that. MU went down there and kissed that level today. We just went down there to about we went down there very briefly to about 216, 217, but burst out of there. So the market now pushed back upwards. We do have right here on Meta, META, leading the way as well with Google. So Meta broke out of a bull flag here on the 30-minute time frame. Meta came up, broke out, and we do have here at 630. The price was able to break out there. Yeah.
Position into Apple. I'm gonna stay on this live.
So now you're going to be able to see if can we get actually above that 670. So 670. Can price actually break there? If it doesn't, and now we see another move back to the downside here on the S&P 500, we look here on the SPY again. Do we actually get a close of the candle body to actually close below this specific level? We want to watch it here at this 6. So we wick below, but we did not get even a 15-minute candle. So the drop was so sharp, but we did not get a candle closure below this level from yesterday. So we wicked directly below that, the pre-market low came down. So you notice that the gains started to be erased. Now, if you look at Meta, I have Meta side by side here. Going to be a couple of things I'm going to show you. Use my trend line tool. I use the beginning of the trend, right? So when I look at Meta, I don't just see a stock that went up. and only solely just, okay, market's up, Meta moved from 610 to 630. You had a $20 move. Now prices coming back and pushing back downwards. If we break this trend, right? Meta ends up breaking below 621. Likely to see a move here on the downside. So SPY is up here, just captured all, trapped all those buyers up there at that 668. Didn't break through 670, so still stuck within this channel and this trend. Now in a 15-minute time frame, which this candle, 15-minute candle, will close at 10:15. If we close below this 667, it's likely we push back down and get towards 665 again. So it's always good to let the market come back up after a massive drop. It's good to let the market come back up before thinking about going short again. Right? So that is that move there. Tesla, QQQ is trying to get below there. Tesla's trying to break below 408. See something here. Tessie back up. Tessie rejected off that level from the pre-market. So now you got Tesla. Looks like it's going to probably try to pull back down. DSLA, 402, that area, level 402 on Tesla. We got the SPY, so I got the equity up. Then as well had an S&P 100, equity and S&P. Let's see here. Nvidia just broke through 170. It's down 12 now. Buck. You lower low. See that? Won't watch
My
that.
bad to interrupt. The market is about to take another leg down here soon.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I see it as well.
Mhm.
Netflix is at that 104.
And I just want to say that you guys should be really taking advantage of this live, right? You guys got a scalping session to just go ahead and live trade, and I'm more than positive. I know his heart. Well, I wouldn't say I know his heart. I've been around him to like, get a feel of his heart where, Lawrence wouldn't mind to like do something like this again, where, when and if we do it, when we do it, take advantage of the scalps, right? Know how to prioritize. Where it's like, hey, look, I already just saw Moody trade and scalp. I want to make some money. Let me go ahead and do that. And then now let me go ahead and look for some day trades and look for some nice setups with Lawrence while we're taking profits on our swings. That's how you trade right there, right? What I want you guys to understand is we're meant to be used, just not misused, right? If you're looking at Lawrence, right? If I was a mentee, what I will be doing with Lawrence is utilizing his mind. I will be taking advantage of it. Meaning, you see, when he's quiet, hey, how do you draw these levels? Hey, how do you do this? You know what I'm saying? Where I will make him my best friend. How do you make someone like him your best friend? If you try to, oh man, I like how you trade, or oh, is this, bro, he's gonna kick you to the left. He's not looking for friends. People like us at a level where we at, we care less about friends. We care about impact and changing people's lives. So as long as you show him that you're putting in the work, you're sending charts, you're asking questions, that's what's gonna make someone pour into you. And he would do it as much as you see him on live saying, man, I ain't gonna be giving no free information. The day you put in the work, he's gonna give you the information for free. Because you're putting in the work. You have to show up though. If you don't show up, it's like we don't feel like we're wasting our time, but we're wasting your time. Lawrence probably been up. He probably done worked out already. He probably done ate breakfast. That's what you have to understand right there. Where it's like, hey, at least this young man is trying to help me. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to be on here. That's what I want you guys to realize. Just because someone has a business, don't have a loser mentality where it's like, oh man, he's just growing a business. Or is this? Well, motherfucker, learn how to grow a business. How about you ask him, Lawrence, what did you do? How did you figure it out? How did you know how to make money offline? It's easy to make money offline. You just got to have a skill set. You just got to have a skill set, right? Put in the work. That's all you have to do. Put in the work. You want to know something about Lawrence? I've been wanting to work with Lawrence maybe since like 2022 and do certain things, right? Because the person I look up to is Mark Monroe. However, you can ask Lawrence. Lawrence ain't gonna lie. I've been in his DMs. You think he didn't read the DM? He been saw that DM. If he's telling you, hey, send me a DM, that means he saw my DM. That means he went to my page and he said, okay, you do what I do. Put in the work. Let me hear about you. Not you telling me about you. Let the world hear about you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we got connected, simply off of work. We don't want to be friends. We're friends because we know what we're doing and we want to provide a value to people. That's what I want people to understand. We're not in freaking sandbox no more. We're not in kindergarten. If I can't make Lawrence money, F it. I'm gonna put it in my world. And this is how my wife talks to me. If another man comes into my life and he can't help me produce off of my skill set and make me money, and I can't make him money, there's no reason for me to be around that man. There's no reason. Why? Because that man needs to bring food home to his woman and his children. And if you can't help that man do that, you're a distraction. You're a distraction, point blank period. We're grown, right? I just want to say that real quick, Lawrence. I don't want it to be that it's only you giving that energy where it's like we're all like that. You got to suck it
Yeah,
up.
you good, bro. Appreciate you.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. So I'm just waiting. I'm just to kind of give some update. I'm kind of waiting to see price move back upwards first. You notice this I think we're gonna go kiss 670 first. So I'm just being patient. I have a structural break. I set my trend line at the top of the trend at 419 on Tesla. I drew it down. You notice it rejected at 416. I want to see this price pull back up first, maybe to 412, 413 first before taking a directional trade, a short on before taking a short on Tesla. Not looking to just jump in without seeing price move up first. I want to see us go test that 413, 414 area first before looking to actually go short. So I think we're going to hit 670, like I said before, first. I want to kind of watch that, try to get a good entry there. TSLA. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So just being patient. See if we can get, if we don't,
I may take another NASDAQ trade, man. This thing here.
yeah, I'm watching this 411 close. Watching that 411 routine.
Oh, she's dropping. Oh, I gotta wait. I missed that move.
But what I'll say is that for people that's in the chat, just to kind of give you guys just some notes. Right? So Tesla will be looking at the 410 to 420 puts for February. So on my entry, the target will be in between 399 to 402. So just giving you guys that. So you do have a 410 to 420 strikes for February expiration. 399 to 402 will be the profit taking zone. So just so everybody has that up front, what we're looking for. So 399 to 402, profit taking zone, Tesla 410 to 420 strikes for February expirations. That's the contract and target price that we're looking to close out at. Already predetermined pre-trade. So it's an example. Yeah.
Hey, just go ahead and grab a put here in a second. I ain't gonna lie, I missed that little leg down. Off the turn side, she's looking like she wants to just bounce it up a little bit. And then try to come break this level. And just to
Yeah.
help everybody, that's like also me hearing Lauren's, analysis where it's like, yeah, I see that. And it's like making me want to take another trade. And now that I'm speaking out loud, I know to say, hey, look, you made, and that's your birthday, 609. You made $3,609. Call it a day. It's okay. It's just a part of the game where it's like we know we can make more money, yet the discipline kicks in when you say, I either hit my goal or I am grateful to have what I have, and the next day is going to be even more amazing. Somebody asked me to like speak on the VIX and SPY. If
Puts
you
that's puts, by the way. Puts. We're looking to short Tesla, not go for calls. Puts. Go ahead.
um where if you can conceptualize what I'm saying and visualize it in your mind, since I'm not like on the charts, then it's okay. However, the VIX is the volatility of SPY, QQ. It's really SPY, yeah, it'll run with QQQ, NASDAQ, ES, and things of that nature, right? Typically, if you see the VIX going down, the market is going to go up. When I say the market, you have to understand what I mean by the market. When I say the market, I'm talking about like SPY, QQQ, NASDAQ, right? Those type of securities and ETFs and stuff of that nature. Dow Jones, right? Those would go up. However, you also have to know how to play bar by bar to know, okay, they swept this liquidity, they're going to go for the higher liquidity, right? It's just like how you can see Tesla bouncing, yet Lawrence is like, I'm not looking for calls. I want it to bounce so I can get a high level or a break of a structure, either or, right? So typically, I'll give you levels where it's like most people would just be throwing things out there on Instagram. I'll be seeing it. Where the VIX, all right. Once we're over 19, we have volatile moves, right? This is how I can start identifying who are real and who is not. When the VIX is sitting above 19 and higher, I love to trade. The person that's really not a trader is going to tell you, hey, be calm. There's a lot of volatility and things of that nature. You want that volatility because that's how we get those 100-point moves, those 50-point moves on a 1 minute chart and things of that nature because the volatility is so high. That's why. So now, when the VIX is sitting around 17 and a little bit lower, that's where you see a lot of the conservative traders trade because the market moves a little bit slower. You know what I'm saying? The volatility of it, where it's like you're gonna get like 10-point moves, 15-point moves, 20-point moves, things
Hold
of
on,
that.
hold on. Not to cut you off. You can finish. I want to let people know that I'm taking the Tesla trade now. I'm taking the Tesla trade now. Go ahead, bro.
No, you good, and that's a good coach. So real quick before I keep going, make sure that you guys are grabbing those Tesla puts that he was talking about, right? He is now getting in those Tesla puts. If I was you, I'll be getting those Tesla puts. If it just bounced on it, you're getting it at a better discount than he is, right? Um, So, when you're sitting around those areas, like the 17, 16 level, volatility has dropped, yet you're not going to get such large moves, right? From like, if you're rejecting 17 and moving down towards 16, most likely you're moved from 17 to 14, right? It likes to go to 14 to 17 to 17 to 19 to 19 to 20 to 25 to like 30. Um, and when the VIX is sitting high, that's when I'm looking for, like right now, I'm still looking for different positions. I'm in Google. However, I forgot to call it out to my group because I got it on Monday. Yet everybody knew to get in Google because Warren Buffett just opened up his stake in it, right? However, um, that right now is the time where you want to start looking. Like the dates that I've given people, October 19th through November 19th, are those dates that you want to start investing into the market. Those are going to be the most volatile dates as well. Why? Because they're going to be shaking people out for the Santa rally, right? I still see us to break all-time highs. I called it. Nvidia is going to beat, the market is going to drop, and then we should break all-time highs. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it's just the prediction and what I've seen since the top of the year. I've been calling this all out through the year. Also, you got to be able to keep in mind where it's like, all right, cool. What is happening right now? We have the World Cup coming, right? And it's also coming here to Atlanta, Georgia. Who just gave us an extra $400 billion? to complete the 1 trillion. Saudi Arabia. What is Saudi Arabia going to be doing? They're going to be having a World Cup over there as well, especially with the new gaming industry that they're building out there, right? You have to be able to understand what's really taking place, right? Yeah, quantum computing, all that is going to do great. However, Tesla is going to fucking blow shit out the fucking water, especially with the robotic cities that they're being able to build, right? So those are the things that you got to be looking at, right? Those partnerships. Right now, Google and Apple are the ones to receive um a lot of the interest as well as Meta, right? Meta is the guinea pig. He's the youngest out the group. So they're gonna make an example out of that. Yet Meta should not be where it's at right now. Meta should be flying from its partnership, from everything that it's doing, it should be flying, right? So that's one that should be being looked at. Netflix, it'll start moving better here soon. However, Netflix is something to, have into your portfolio as well. You understand what happened in COVID-19. You understand these things. These things are still going to be at play, right? Um, Oracle. I know he's trading that. Yeah, Oracle is something to be looking at. You know what I'm saying? Especially with them wanting to purchase TikTok, right? Understand that America is a bully. We're gonna get exactly what we want. Do you not understand that? We're bullies. We don't kill people army, we kill people's countries. These are things that you have to be aware of because this is your country. You have to understand how we go to war. Right? Be prepared on Tuesdays because that's when they go to war. It's Mars Day, right? I'm a universal God. I like to move around with universal law because that's the order. And then I move around with law enforcement, mankind's law. Yet my father law is over all, even me, right? So that's one thing that I do. It's easy for me to make people money. It is not easy for me to help you change your mindset. It is not easy for me to help you, especially if you're black, to look at yourself and love yourself. The only reason I can pour into Lawrence and we can work together the way we do is because Lawrence loves himself and I love myself. So in turns, it helps me love my black man. You know what I'm saying? Can black people do wrong in my eyes? Absolutely. But damn it, I'm not, no, I'm gonna see right. That's what I'm gonna see. I don't want to, no, yeah, he did that. That motherfucker over there did that shit too. And you ain't talking about it, right? Why we gotta talk about his negativity for? We all got some negative fucking shit in our lives. That's why we're here on planet Earth to get it together, right? How about we be a help to one another and say, "Hey, I love what you got going on right there. I think that I could provide some value. How about we do this together and do this together? Not tear someone down and say, "Well, he's not a good scalper. He's not that." Put two and two together. Put two and two together. If you forgot, just channel your mother's love.
Yep. So I want to show this real quick. I did get into both these puts, bills, entries, Tesla, and as well MU. For anybody who has questions, those are the two contracts right there. Two MUs. Put in the targets right now. Target on Tesla is we're looking for a 399 to 402 move. And then MU, I want you to put down 210 to 212. Those are your two targets. Both trades.
I ain't even
A
gonna
lot of
lie.
time. Go ahead.
No, I just want to say I ain't gonna lie to you. You on point with it, man. Just look at we're sitting on a bear flag pendant. I like
Mm-hmm.
how you entered that trade. That's why I'm saying it's just the way you entered it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry
We
to
need
cut
to
you.
just see this. No, no, you good. You good. We need to see this break below 407. Once we can get this break below 407, we can see we'll see if that liquidity dries up there because there's no buyers here. If there's no buyers here, they're going to take them out right there. Same thing here with oops. I'm looking for MU to go and break that 215. So there's no buyers here at that 407. If no buyers come and step in, we're going to take that clip down. Boom, here we go. Just
This is
say I
short
expect.
Nasdaq. Short SPY and
Okay.
short Nasdaq.
Yep. And then now you have my trend line tool. Moody's right on point today. Y'all give him his flowers.
Now, y'all give Lawrence his flowers. He's on point.
You get this break
In
underneath
the zone right
217, this structure zone, 406 and 50 cents. See?
He about to milk it. I fucking love it. I'm watching it happen here on Nasdaq, where it's like, yo, it gets exciting when we break levels, like how you see his trend line. It's like,
It is. MU, QQQ needed to stay below 600.
yeah,
Six.
drag her down.
Go daily time frame. Just want to go daily real quick. You'll see jumbled up price action right here. Buyers and sellers relationship, 30-minute time frame.
For anybody that's in my group, I want you to be aware if you're looking at his screen, notice something. He used a multiple time frame analysis, even though he's not telling you about that, right? He is trading on a 30-second chart. Understand, he's day trading. Do you not see where he's utilizing a 5 minute, entering on his 5 minute, watching it on the 30, went to the daily to find more understanding. You see how he just jumped to the 15. He's jumping around. You can't if you ask him, hey, what's the perfect time frame? He's gonna laugh because there's no perfect time frame. You have to find it. You got to move it around.
Yep. Yep.
That's beautiful.
Waiting on that. You see these buyers kind of stepping in on MU. We got to see this candle engulf this line, come down, break this structure. See it close underneath there. MU, you go out a little bit further here, you'll see that 214.75 level. We're still waiting on that. You want to offload around about 210, 212 in that area for MU. Draw this line in the sand. This is the pre-market low from the other day, or Monday, excuse me. Pre-market low from yesterday.
You
Yep.
know, I'm
Go ahead,
I'm,
brother.
I'm petty. I like to show all sides of me, positive, flaws, all that. I'm petty. So I just want to know something. If you ever see someone taking a trend line and doing what he's doing, they're copying Lawrence. Traders do what traders do. You see how I'm using horizontal lines or horizontal rays. He's just strictly only using a trend line and utilizing how he wants to. So if you see somebody only grabbing trend lines and doing this and doing that, you know where they got it from. My bad, I'm petty.
Nah, you good. Get on that break there.
If you get your work taken and never give credit, you understand me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be petty.
Boy, boy. Do I know?
I like people taking my word because I'll be like, guess what? I could do it again. Can you? It's gonna take a little minute for this pendant to break. Me just seeing it, they keep bouncing it. They really want to be able to break that. Buyers are stepping in down there. However, we'll see. They got nothing but higher lows. They can pop, sweep up the liquidity, and then just drop right back down. We always need liquidity for the market to be able to move, right? And liquidity is also looked at as orders that have not been filled yet, right?
Mhm. Thesis change.
And I honestly want to pour into you guys and like give you some little like some really fire gems. However, when Lawrence and I decide to do like a chart class together, I'll go ahead and show you. There's only about like two or three things that you really need to know about this chart, and if you follow it, you'll be extremely profitable.
Sure. Right, we got this 406. See. Mm-mm. 406 trying to break down. QQQ is not pull it up. Stay below 600. See there, gotta use keeps wicking off 99.
While he does that, let me look at the VIX. Let's go ahead and put some more eyes on it. He should be all right. The VIX is going to want to keep pushing up. It's going to drag the market down. We just need the VIX to go ahead and break back over like 2081, sitting at 2066 at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go look at Forex Factor. Let's see if it's any moves holding this up. We had not much. Depending on the market, that's at 10 a.m. Everything's already passed. Yeah, we good. We're good on news. And so people to have a good understanding on the market, right? We're now approaching 10:30, right? So the market opens up at 9:30. However, I look at it at 9 o'clock. I trade with extended hours on because I want to see the whole entire move. I like to trade from the bottom of the hour, not the middle of the hour, right? That's just weird. However, now that we're approaching 10:30, the market likes to sometimes, majority of the time, I say the rule of thumb is like 8 out of 10. It likes to reverse whatever move it was giving, right? So if it was going to the upside, it would start wanting to go to the downside. If it was going to the downside, it would want to start going to the upside, right? As well as what you want to keep in mind with 10:30 is that we get a new 4 hour candle. It's about to come out. You're about to receive a lot of volatility right now. Most people don't know that. Why? Because they're not looking at those bigger time frames, right? That 4 hour new candlestick is going to come out at 10 a.m. I love trading that candlestick, right? However, once you know that, you also know that 10:30 flip, right? That's what we call it. It's the flip of the market, right? It just came out, right? You'll see that candlestick actually move a little bit faster than normally. However, um, it's important to know that, right? Also, when you're coming into like the 10:30, it's the flip, and also it can be indecision to continue on the same trend. Yet you have to be able to look at that, right? Um, and know your bars, right? Like when you're trading on a 4 hour time frame, that's why it's easy to utilize patterns and such things that you see how rapidly it's moving right now. That's because of 10 a.m. That's that 4 hour candlestick that just came out and it's looking to take out the liquidity of its previous high or its previous low, right? Um, yeah. Yep. And then you can always go to bar charts, right? And look at the sector heat map. And always remember this, where the first three that are winning normally get flipped by the last three that are winning, right? So right now, communication services, healthcare, and consumer staples are winning, right? Those are the first three sectors that's winning. They normally get flipped by the last three sectors by the end of the day, meaning information technology, energy, and utilities. Then you have to know what sectors run together, right? Like utilities and energies run together. Utilities and energies prime up on Mondays, great to trade on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, be out by Thursday or Friday, you know? And once you start just understanding the sector rotation in the market and how they rotate money, it becomes much more easier. Yet don't be hard on yourself. The reason I say that is because you're delivering 8 hours to a job, right? Don't look at your job a certain type of way. Why? Because that job is providing a lifestyle and a form of means for yourself, right? You just got to get a little bit more disciplined that when you get off work, I know how it is because you have most of your energy right now where you're thinking, man, I want to do this, I want to start the charts. Yeah, you got to go to work. I understand that. It's okay. Go to work, and what I tell people is learn how to take your breaks. If you got a cool manager, you get two breaks. Put those 15s together. I used to have to do that. That's a whole 30 minute. That means you can spend 30 minutes at the market opening with Lawrence. That's what you have to understand and take it at the right time. You know what I'm saying? If you can lollygag, lollygag. It's okay. Just don't be one of those people that complain about another person lollygagging. Because then you become that. Appreciation loves appreciation. That's one of the best things that I can teach you is words. It's it's the Father's word. If you learn how to utilize words properly in the English language, you'll be able to manifest the things that you want. It's just like people that always, oh, I'm humble. Yeah, you're ignorant. I know. You're telling me that because I define words. You have a low self-esteem. You don't want to be modest. You want to, I mean, you don't want to be humble. You want to be modest. Modest is the word that you're looking for, right? It's just like people who say, man, I want freedom. You don't know what freedom means. Go define the word. Freedom means to be able to think for oneself and not be subjected or held restraint. These are the things that's going to be able to help you because now you're going to start utilizing your words correctly and being able to manifest your desires. Once you are able to put your heart and your mind together, oh man, it's beautiful when you marry the two. You just got to be as silent as you can and be able to hear the Father. And you hear the Father all the time, you know? He tells you things like, hey, open this door for this person. Hey, do this. You're just shy sometimes and don't listen to the orders. That's all. Listen to yourself. Be kind to yourself. This is what I normally tell my community. May the Lord continue to bless us all from the crown of our heads to the soles of our feet, back to the crowns of our head. Allow yourself to be kind and loving to yourself, and that will allow you to be kind and loving to the next person.
Yes, sir. Amen.
That's right. Amen. You see, I could teach you about everything. You see how amen? That's who you talking about. Amen. Amen, right? Praise your father. The more you praise your father, the more it's like, all right, if I say I believe in God and half of the Zoom stays quiet, you just agreed in silence. If I say I didn't believe in God and you didn't, hey, you just agreed in silence. You better speak up and use your trumpet. He gave it to you for a reason. You're powerful. Trust me, you're powerful. They don't want you to know how powerful you are because then you'll start utilizing your power, right? We're all great, right? And I would always say that man is God. I don't care if you're white, black, you're a man. That's who you are. Learn how to provide and protect.
Sir, duty.
That's right. And I just want to tell you guys that I'm proud of you. To be honest, I'm really proud of you. Not a lot of people have the patience to be able to day trade because to be able to day trade, you have to have patience. It's not scalping.
Sit there. Structure. Mhm. See if the QQQ breaks this 5 minute pattern now. It breaks underneath 601 again. See if the Q's pull back downwards.
And everybody, do me a favor that's in my community. Show some love to Lawrence. Drop some fires in the chat for Lawrence, as well as make sure that you subscribe to his YouTube channel. It's free to hit that subscribe button. It's really not that much energy. All you gotta do is this. Look, that's all you gotta do.
Appreciate that, bro.
You know it. Mhm. But yeah, man, everybody will have the opportunity as long as you put in the work and you show up and you put in the work when nobody's watching, not just showing up to the classes, doing the work on your own. You will have the opportunity because it's just like how I'm thinking, where it's like I'm just hearing my son right now just playing with his toys. He's over there, Mickey Mouse, talk to Jamaica Mickey Mouse. And I'm just hearing my wife on the phone with her mother, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, I understand that most people want that, where it's like, hey, I get up whenever I want, I do this, I do that. You know what I'm saying? And you will be able to be there. I promise you, you will. You just have to focus. You have to focus and stop trying to take every single trade, right? If you're in a community, stay in that community. I know so many people that hop, you know what I'm saying? Make sure not only that, it's okay to be in several communities. Some people be like, oh, bro, what you have to understand is that's why whatever I learn, if I learn it from someone, I tell you about that person too. Why? Because I have the understanding that maybe I'll explain it in a way that is going over your head. Maybe that person will be able to explain it in a way that it's like, whoa, I get it now. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to share where you're getting information from. It's just like I tell people in my group, bro, I don't care if you're in Aristotle's group, whoever group you in a trade, let me know about that so that I can give you levels and be like, hey, look at that. Still go with the analysis that that person is giving you. However, go ahead and get an extra confluence. What I don't like about this industry is the competition in this industry where it's like, bro,
Mm.
let's just help people. Like, why are you worried about what the next person is doing or this person is doing? Like, obviously, you're trying to be that person's friend or something. You know what I'm saying? The whole goal is to make sure that people are saving themselves. They're not praying to a mystery God. They know who they are. They know the Father, and they can civilize and civilize their children. They can tell their children the truth. They can learn how to really read the English language, you know? We was given a Bible to learn how to read. First, we would get our tongues cut out if we learned how to read that book. Then they gave us that book and said, hey, if you want to be a free man, learn this. And most people still stood on that plantation. So you cannot be mad at our parents. That's why we have children, because those children are the youth and they'll be able to see something and you get that knowledge and you bring it back to your parents. You don't bring it back to your parents where it's like, oh, it was wrong, or is this? No, that's disrespectful. Don't forget that that's your parent, you know? And it's not about racism or any of that. It's about righteousness and unrighteousness. That's all it's about. Stop trying to make it lighter, good or evil. You want to make it lighter, positive or negative. Now you know God. You hear that positive voice in your mind, which is you. That's who God is. Listen to the positive voice. Don't listen to the negative voice. It's hard, I know. I've been practicing since I was 14 years of age. That's when I left my house and I left school and I told my mother, Luke 2:49, I'm about my father's business. And she cried and said, you've been reading? I said, I'll see you at 33. And now I'm 34 years of age and everybody thinks it's a miracle. It's not a miracle. It's just me cleaning myself up. It's me eating the right foods. It's me loving myself. It's me giving knowledge of self to people. It's just cleaning your fucking self up. If you're going to call yourself God, you must be the devil too. Clean that up. Clean it up. We were programmed to think a certain way. That's not our way of living. Our way of living is helping one another. That's what community is. That's why I don't say I have a business, I have a community, right? And we just got to be able to help one another, right? Lawrence is younger than me. So I'm supposed to speak from this light to encourage him even more. He's one of the first ones that I seen, yo, he sent me an invite to his birthday and he had church on that motherfucker. You different. You trying to get some words out here? I hear you. You know what I'm saying? Where things of that nature, you know? Like what I could tell you that Lawrence probably doesn't tell y'all is that he loves y'all. He appreciates y'all coming on here. You know why? Because I invested time with Lawrence and I've seen the friends that he hangs out with. Great friends. Yet I can also see that he's trying to change their mindset. Why? Because he's the one that's different. He's the one that's investing in doing this and they're in college. So he appreciates when he sees all y'all come on here. Why? Because he can see his friends and be like, damn, man, my friends want to talk about football or want to talk about this or want to talk about that. You guys want to talk about exactly what I love. But it's hard for us to say that. Why? Because then you'll take advantage of us. Nobody wants to be taken advantage, right? That's why I tell people, show people love. It's not hard to like a comment. I mean, to like a post. It's not hard to say, hey, Lawrence, you've helped me do this. Why? And do it publicly. Stop trying to be. all privately in a Discord. Do it publicly. Why? Because the world gets to see that. That's the biggest gift back that you could give any entrepreneur. It's not trying to make some money and send something. No, it's, hey, let me tell the truth about you. You were able to do this for me. You were able to do this for me. My mindset changed. I treat my mother better now. That's what it is right there. It's just I'm a real coach. I got kicked out of school early. I've been on probation most of my whole entire life. I got off of probation. I've been going to therapy since I was like what, 19 because my wife made me go. I thought she was crazy. This black man didn't want to go to therapy. And that confuses people when I say that. Why? Because I'm Dominican, I'm Hispanic. That's my ethnicity. I know the English language. That's my ethnicity. I'm still a black man, regardless of the fact, right? So, yeah, man. We do this just because we want to see everybody else on our equality.
Yeah. Playing around, so volume's a little lower than 45. If we get that, the structure might not break until later on this afternoon. Let me get some questions. Take some questions from the chat. I'll take some questions. Questions for me. Get some questions. Questions, questions, questions. Questions, questions, questions.
Just
Sure. Can we look at TSM? Go ahead, bro.
somebody's had asked, why does my 4 hours say a new one opens in an hour and 30 minutes? Probably you're trading off of RTH, real time hours, instead of ETH. If you look at Lawrence chart all the way at the bottom, it says UTC now because he's on a daily chart. However, when he moves to an intraday, you'll see it right there. It says ETF all the way at the bottom next to ADJ. Real traders do not trade off of real time hours. That's not the real time. You're being subjected. You don't get all the price action. You don't get pre-market. We need all of that. But y'all go ahead and drop y'all questions in the chat for Lawrence.
Yep. Questions. So first question was based upon TSM. Don't let them all be ticker questions either, please. What's the question as far as TSM? VIX is now back below 20. Maybe we be pulling back up. Could be. Let's see. We'll monitor it here. We are at back to the in a QQQ spot. Probably just hit 670. Yeah, there it is. There. So that's what I was waiting for. If we don't break right here, we could pull back down, but the spot did just hit this 670 level. So we will keep that in mind. We want to keep that in mind. 670 just now.
Yeah, I'm watching right now. It just broke.
Yeah,
But
just bro.
yeah.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Do I take any supplements? I guess that's a question for me. Creatine a little bit, but not really that much. Outside of my men's daily vitamins, the magnesium, a little bit of creatine, maybe like 2 days a week. I'm not take a ton of supplements outside of just my daily vitamins. Mm-mm.
Somebody asked, how were you able to identify the liquidity supply and demand around 9:30 trade? Simply looking at the market structure, meaning market structure is your support and resistance, swing highs and swing low levels, and staying around where the price action is at. And like, because the price action could be right here, let's just say 24,000.82. However, you'll see people charting all the way down to like 24,600. And it's like the price ain't nowhere near there. You got to break other levels before getting there, right? So, and honestly, it's just the 5 years of, me just trading and staying on the charts and things of that nature. It's just the consistency. I could be honest with you and tell you right now, sometimes I'll be thinking I'm gonna lose a trade and I actually win the trade. And that's just due to me being patient in the move, and allowing the move to play out.
Sure.
Oh man, happy birthday. I'm not the best reader. Alinti, happy birthday to you, and may the Lord continue to may the Most High continue to bless you in your life. May you continue to be focused. May prosperity and patience and abundance come and nurture your life for you. Peace and love.
Happy birthday. We got a birthday in the house, is what I'm hearing.
Will, you funny. I ain't even gonna say what you say, but yeah, you funny.
We have a birthday. Whose birthday? My
Uh,
bad. I was trying to
Lena,
put it. Whose birthday?
I'm not the best reader. I'm gonna spell it out for you. I gotta scroll back up and find her. It's gonna be coming up. Hold on. I'm taking advantage. It was at 10:43. Alenti.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's someone. Please send me a direct message, please. Please send me a direct message. I got something for your birthday. Please send me a direct message. Please text me directly there. 716. Don't nobody text me and say it's my birthday. So my brother, please send me a text message. Send me a text message. Take care of something for you. Appreciate you for your time and being here.
How long did it take you to learn how to chart? Probably like 2 months. I started trading January 21st of the year of 2021. I retired my job the last week of March of that same year, so less than 60 days. People wanted me to start teaching them. I didn't want to. So I started teaching people for free because it was just like my insecurities. I'm just like, I don't know. But yeah, it really comes very natural and easy to me. However, it's due to a lot of failures that I've had in the past, like when I came into this game, I already had a vending machine company, I already had two houses. I was already invested into the stock market, just not in the option market. I didn't know what the option market was.
Sure. What is your process for selecting your tickers for trades? Good question. So I actually have okay, uh, computer.
Trying to understand this question. Somebody says, this is great information. As Moody said, there are a lot of communities, and some of us are probably getting different ideas from each of them. How do these sort of sessions slash collaboration impact your approach and method, if they do at all?
Drop that beginner, Rich. I just dropped that beginner watch list. Like that's like my main watch list. So I dropped that in the chat via PDF so you can see that.
I'll keep it short and sweet. My method doesn't change.
Mhm.
My method doesn't change. The only thing with me, and I don't care to talk about it, just be careful with your words with me. I've done a lot of studying when it comes to like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. I am not someone to get mad. I am someone to fucking destroy your ass if you piss me off. I will show you. I will be like Michael Jordan and not allow you to score any more points while I put points on the board. I don't get mad. I don't get even. I just work. So I won't change my method at all. What is your process for selecting your tickers for swinging? That's definitely a Lawrence question. Somebody also,
Process.
go ahead.
Yeah, so the question was these questions. Swing trading. I don't know why I'm not seeing these. Are these coming somewhere else? I'm not sure. Swing trading.
It's at 10:48. It's actually Miss Maya, somebody from my community.
Okay, got you. Okay, got you. Yeah. Someone said your name is Moody. I wouldn't want to be on your bad side. um, what's your thoughts on MSTU 1 to 10 split? And then yeah, so for swing trading. So what I'll usually do, particularly, I like strong structural trend breakouts. Right, so Oracle was a good one just to show like one thing that I like is bear flags, usually on a consistent basis. I love bear flags. But when we can see a bear flag break to the downside or a bull flag as well, right? So I like bear flags, bull flags. So I have to see some form of a high probability setup, either the daily or the weekly time frames, or even the monthly as well, usually daily and weekly. So if you notice like Apple right now, Apple's flagged. You got a good, this is why Apple hit 280 today. We broke out of the bull flag. So it was definitely, we look for those high probability setups when it determines a swing trade, whether that's upside or downside. What makes a high probability setup more so for a swing is when we can see a structural break on a bigger time frame. So if I see a stock breaking down or breaking upwards on the daily or weekly, that gives me more data to be able to look at, right? So don't like necessarily to only solely like even here with this with our Tesla position, this rejection off of 410, which I mean rejection off of 417 and us coming downwards. Now if I open it up inside, we had a bull flag, but we invalidated that bull flag today. So now on I can come here on a daily time frame and I can draw a diagonal trend line here from the low, and I can stretch that diagonal trend line upwards. And now as we're breaking, so if I see this solid break, what I'm waiting really here on Tesla, and I'll zoom in. Now I'll go from the top to the bottom, right? So top frames to the lower time frame, right? So I'll do a top down. But now if I could see Tesla get below that, notice where it bounced at. This horizontal line right here is a daily level. So all the horizontal lines on my chart either come from the daily, weekly, or monthly time frame levels areas, right? So if I can see a clean break underneath that level on here on this 30-minute notice we just bounced there, if I could see us actually get and break below, price will start to push down, and that 402 is that first target. So you're looking for that 402.83 level. So those are my thoughts. Yep. Any other questions? Any other questions? I did get the MSTU. My thoughts on MSTU. That's what happens when ETFs like this, leverage products like this, come down to becoming a $1. So now, if you have, for example, you have 1,000 shares, you're gonna have 100 shares. Right? So they're gonna take shares from you, and in turn, the stock price, well, the ETF's price will move up. So it'll move to 10. So this is fine. This is just to maintain. So this is fine. You're not losing anything, by that realistically happening. It's fine. MicroStrategy, MSTR is doing that split. So you have MSTU. This would be the first time they do a split since its inception. So, yeah. Wix. What do you do when you miss your stop loss, trade ran away from you? I guess you're asking, I guess, if it already has blown past your stop loss level and it ran away from you to the downside, close it where it's at. Once again, it's more so that MSTU is directly tied to MicroStrategy. So MicroStrategy success is going to be MSTU success. MicroStrategy's downfall is going to be MSTU's downfall. So just consider that, right? So it doesn't change the correlation in the relationship at all for MSTR. Strategy Inc. Right now, MicroStrategy been losing incredibly. So the lowest level I kind of see MSTR going to, we had a breaker structure, someone who was just asking me about swing trading. We broke this structure here on a monthly time frame. That's why the trend has really shifted very fast, right? So we do see the trend shifting in a very, very, very fast way, right? And so now when we do see and anticipate, right, I would say that that 120, 102 level, for MSTR would probably be, us coming down here to that level. Ideally, I would say as well with MSTU, doing a math on it post split already. Probably, I would say around that $6 to $7 range, $6 to $7 essentially would ideally be right within that range. I'm kind of doing some preliminary numbers in my head based upon where MSTR is at. Yeah, probably around like $6 because this would be at $10. That would be like 30 to 40% drop. So yeah, you could look around like if MicroStrategy continues to pull back 102 to 120, I would refrain. I know I originally said I would refrain from buying any more MSTU until we got to about 70 to 75 cents. You're looking now again, funny enough, at $6 to $7 post split. So post MSTU split would not touch it until $6 to $7 again if you're thinking about buying more. Yep. What's your preference charting with the wicks or the whole? Well, price action will show you directly. I always like to take the top line of the wick. So price, once again, the wicks show you where price went during that period. It doesn't show you where price closed. So wicks show you where price went, right? So as high as the candle went, as high as price went during that period. In this case, we're here on a monthly. If I knock it down to the daily, you'll see less wicks. You'll see more bodies, right? Just dependent upon you'll see more bodies. But you notice up here at that 457 level, look at how many times it took us to actually try to break and we rejected each time. Now, if you notice, I took it right here at the peak of it, but I used the wick. I used the wick here. Right? So I did use the wick on those levels. And I have MicroStrategy kind of incomplete charted on this side. This is my right side of the screen. I don't always use this for all my tickers. Notice as we broke down below this level, price ended up pushing back and pulling back further. All right. So we like to chart the peak of the higher highs or right the peak of the higher lows and then vice versa. Lower lows and lower highs. We like to take the bottom and the top. So yeah. Mm, 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 mm. 10 to 15. Uh, so 10 to 15%, depending on option type trade, and then 25 to 35%. If it's a more so a short term swing, it's 10 to 15%, a longer term, 25 to 35%. Yep. Questions, questions, questions. When day trading, when price, we've already closed out of Oracle, guys. We've already got it out of Oracle. Oracle trade. We've already closed out of that. Hit target one and target two. When day trading, when price is at a level, how do you decide? Do you enter or do you wait for a pullback before entering? All right, so here, It's here on TSLA. Okay, so a lot of times I'm usually waiting on if we went and just made a lower low, I'm not going to try to get inputs at that lower low. I usually want price to run back up first before going short. So you don't want to just let price just continue to keep dropping going short, right? So that's the mistake that a lot of people make is only looking one direction away. The best time is to allow things to actually pull up first, then go short. Vice versa. If you're looking to go long, you don't want to be entering longs at the top of the resistance point. You want to enter longs at support levels, areas where you believe price is going to bounce at. So that is the best example that is one of the main examples that I can give, especially when day trading as well. You do want to keep the S&P 500 up at all times. So if I'm looking for calls, but the SPY is at resistance and not breaking, I really shouldn't be taking calls on my positions, right? Vice versa. If I'm looking for puts, but I clearly see that the SPY is not breaking below and I see buyers are stepping in, I should not be going ahead and looking, right, to be taking puts at those levels. So I like to see structural breaks and trend breaks. So if you notice right now, since 9:50 a.m. when you asked me about day, look at where price is bouncing. I like to use a lot of trend lines, especially for some of my more so day trading to be able to see. So this is structure, right? Price is staying in an upward channel. Now, if we're to break down below this 669, we could then have another drop. But buyers, if you notice the wicks, and I usually don't go down, but I want to show this. Go to the minute time frame, right? So now if you notice, like every time we've been hitting this trend line, price has been bouncing the wick right here. Pay attention. So the more that we engulf this level, and this is just taking it down to be a bit more surgical, we want to watch this area right here because this is where the liquidity will lie. If we break this area, this 668.63, this is where we could see price pull back on a spot another dollar. It's probably about 50 cents. So you do want to mark off, remember what I said, the peak of your lower lows, then the peak of your higher highs. Right. So you see that right here. We made a higher low. What would be next is to make a higher high. If we don't, we break down and we come and reject here, break through this 668. You now know you have another $1.50 of room for this gap to fill here on this downside, right? This gap up, you have another $1.50 move right there on the downside. So that's for your scalpers, people who are looking to scalp there. That'll be what you see at that time. Yeah, no problem. What time of the year or events do you guys like to trade the most? Maybe Moody has an answer. I prefer all times of the year, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I prefer all times of the year. Me, I love to trade the market opening. It's the most volatile. Um, However, I like to trade throughout the whole entire year. It's just a mindset, meaning am I scalping, am I day trading, or am I swinging? Or if I'm leaping. It just all depends on the market, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different strategies for different times. When we're if the market is drawing down, I'm definitely going to be looking, of course, to play puts to certain degrees, but I'm also going to be looking at selling puts too. So, where we get down to you have certain stocks that may hit the discount shelf, you should also as well look and say, okay, what areas can I identify where there's some discounts at? That's where the fundamental practice comes in. I know today has been mainly a live trading session, but I particularly also look at a lot of things from a fundamental perspective if I'm thinking about buying an individual equity. And I am going to look at names from a fundamental perspective. I'm going to pull up NVO, for example, right? Because this was a stock that I have put a buy recommendation on. And it's mainly because of fundamentals and what I see happening with this business long term. Now, NVO has been on a downturn, but from a fundamental price perspective, right? NVO has set us up to me with a pretty quality price on a company that may be taking a beating, but prices back into what we would call quantify as a monthly and weekly demand zone. Right? So prices back down to the lowest level we've been at since 2022. So some people only solely look at price. I also look at the business model and say, well, this is a business that's earned $3.59 in the past 12 months with a 12 P to E. But yes, the stock has sold off because it was in an area where it should have never probably been in the first place. This stock was incredibly expensive, but this is where the true discount lies, right? Because notice the selling has so far kind of, paused itself, right? If I can actually see, if I saw $35, I wouldn't even stop buying this name at $35. It would make a lot more sense, $30. But this is a name that I'm actively putting out there, understanding where the valuation sits at. A lot of times people don't know exactly what the company is earning. You have businesses out here that run off of purely just hype, right? And no real fundamental thesis. So in this case in time, you have NVO, which, like I said, is setting up here. And to me, in the long run, right, you do have those different times of the year where discounts may present themselves. So as well, when I use Netflix, but not only am I looking at Netflix from a technical perspective, which is why I've recommended people to buy puts on Netflix directly on my page this week to go out to February and March. Netflix has a trailing P to E of 44 right now, forward PE of 33. So when I look at the chart and I come to Netflix and I look at NFLX, let's do that. We'll see a couple of things here. Netflix is sitting right now, right here on this weekly trend line. So if price breaks this structure, right, we are going to see Netflix slide down here to 99.80 and then 94.38. So I'm looking for these. When someone asked me about swing trades, particularly, I like to see some form of macro structural break. So this is trend has been in place since April 7th, as we're breaking here to this downside price, could come further down. Now, $80 a share, right? That would mark about $82. That will put us back in the January and April low. Below that would be, looking probably to about 72 for us to come back to. Now, what I do is I tie in the fundamentals and say, okay, well, Netflix currently right now, $100 stock. But what if the stock price was, what would be the P to E ratio if the stock price was to fall? Right? If the stock price was to fall, maybe $30, and we'll say 74. If we take 74, you divide that by $2.40, you should come out with a 30 P to E ratio. In between 15 and 30 is usually a really good, fair price to pay. So what a lot of times people don't understand is they start overpaying for their equities, right? And they're overpaying. Like I said right now. Like I said, you don't want to be caught overpaying for your tickers. You would rather pay, like I said, you rather pay a fair price. So once again, a super, super, super duper important. Paying a fair price for your tickers is better than overpaying for your companies. You want to pay a fair price. You don't want to overpay. And a lot of times people end up overpaying for their tickers. What I try to help people understand is to know what you're buying. A lot of times, like I said, people are overpaying for their tickers. So if you're buying Netflix above $100 here, you're overpaying. You're not really paying a fair price until about 74. Really good price where you'd be paying a, less than market value would be probably honestly about $50 and below. But 58, 55 wouldn't be a bad price either. To me, that would be typically tech stocks, once again, are usually the companies that trade, right, with a higher valuation. That's known that tech companies usually trade higher than where they usually should trade at. So I think that's just a good note for me to make. And yeah, those are my thoughts.
Muhammad, oh, before I even say that, I just forgot where it was in the chat. Happy birthday to your 3-year-old son that just turned 3. My son will be 3 here soon as well. However, Muhammad said, based on learning to read charts perspective, what time frames are best to learn and consistently see patterns. All right. So for me, all time frames are going to have all the same patterns and things of that nature. However, if you want to be able to have a rapid increasement in your learning process when trading, um, hey Lawrence, can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So I just got it up here on the NASDAQ. I'll speak on the price action here in a little bit. However, to answer the time frame, I will tell you the 1 minute. Why am I going to say the 1 minute? Why? Because hey, you're just wanting to see the perspective and as well to learn the best as well a consistency of patterns, right? So let me move the chart right here. You can see the chart right here, right? So, well, let me finish explaining. So I would say the 1 minute for you to be able to see most of the patterns. Why? Because it's a 1 minute chart. It moves faster than the rest of the time frames. You don't need to go all the way down to, the 15-second or something of that nature. You only want to do that while the market is opening, while the market is open. Why am I saying that? Let me give you some perspective to it. Where you see all this large movement like that, that's not the movement that you see right here, because that's pre-market, right? That's like pre-market movement, right? These are bigger bars. Um, so the reason I say the 1 minute is because you're gonna get so much more bars on the 1 minute, right? So if I'm just looking at this, I could just delete all this, right? I already see the structure automatically and know that my structure is right here at this 5 minute opening. How do I know that? Because I can look at it. Yes, I broke over that level. However, I can see how I'm rejecting that level, broke over it. Now that I broke over it, I used to see rejections. Now I'm seeing bounces. So I know that they're holding up this level, but when they break this level, they'll be able to flush it all the way down to about right here to sweep out the rest of the liquidity. If we break the opening price of that level, we'll take them down a little bit further, right? However, if I bring you down to even, let's just say a 15-second chart, you'll be able to see all these patterns happen quickly. What do I mean by that? All right, I'm gonna just stay from here to here, right? Because there's a lot of patterns, right? So if we just start from right here, right? The first pattern that is showing you right here, and I'll draw it out just in case nobody can see it. It's going to be a head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline, break. Some people can see the inverse cup and handle, right? You can see the cup and handle right there and how it failed, right? And then it gives you another cup right here, a handle, breakout. So that's a bull flag breakout, but you'll be able to see that more so on a smaller time frame. So yeah, I can't lie to you. It stays charted, where it's like, there goes your pole, and that's that big ass flag. However, you got to be able to read in here. Most people didn't see it, yet I've been saw it, right? Where it's like, can you see your inverted head and shoulders? Right? Neckline is right here. Finally got over it, blast off, right? So that's why I'm telling you that, because you'll be able to see all those patterns. You'll be able to come here and say, hey, there goes a morning star, right? What is a morning star? Take your ass to Google. Shit, easy as fuck. Close. I don't know what the hell you're trying to do. Google morning star. Oh, let me just type it in. So this is a morning star, three candle pattern. The evening star is the opposite, right? So the morning star is your sunrise, the evening star is your sunset. I know that's easy to identify, right? That's your major reversal. That's why you see it reversing right there, right? That's the second reversal. The first reversal is the tweezer bottom. You put both of these two together, that makes the tweezer bottom. Not a double bottom, yet a tweezer bottom, right? Um, so with that being said, all of these patterns, you'll be able to see them. You know that the morning star rises. We just couldn't break over that resistance, but that morning star also makes your cup and handle. The thing is that I know that's why I'm confident. I know what's going to happen. I know what creates what, right? It's just like a man sleeping with a female. You're going to create a baby. You know that. You just don't know if it's going to be a god or a moon. Well, let me speak in your language. You don't know if it's going to be a son, a man, or a woman, right? Not a boy or a girl. That's, you know what I mean? You have to learn words. Like males, that's an animalistic. Female, that's animalistic as well. You know, I am a man. You see, man means mind. You see it right there. That's what man means. So when you're reading the word, the Bible, or any word in the world, once you understand that, you'll understand, oh, man means mind. Oh my God, they're always talking about me. Yeah, because we're trying to help you get to where we're at in the mind, right? So you see your morning star right here, right? Um, on top of that, it's just so much. You see another inverse head and shoulders right here, shoulder, head, shoulder, but it didn't blast off of the neckline, right? But then I'm gonna show it to you again. You see your shoulder, I mean your shoulder here, your head here, your shoulder here. Well, guess what? There's another one in here. You just can't see it. Shoulder, I mean head, shoulder, shoulder, and couldn't break out this neckline, so it dropped. It gave you what? A cup and handle. How do we know about that cup and handle? All right, the morning star. Don't you see it right there? I told you the morning star creates your cup. You see a morning star, let your cup overflow. You understand now, right? God is great. He's not good. Stay away from motherfuckers that want to be good. Good is too close to bad. We are great, right? And that's all that's happening in the chart. And then when you're able to understand that, you're able to understand that. And look, I'll just blow your mind real quick. I don't know. You want me to blow your mind? Blow your mind? Drop a ticker. Just drop a ticker before I just do it on NASDAQ or SPY. And then I'll read some more comments. Let me go all the way to the bottom. See the first ticker I grabbed. QQQ. Oh my God, you made it too easy. You made it too easy. You really don't know who I am. All right, take your ass to the 12-month chart, right? Delete all this crap. I could rechart anytime. All right, I got a question. What do you see here? Can anybody tell me? If you're in my coaching program, I don't care. You could cheat. Go ahead. Help the people so they can see how great you are. All right, I'm gonna give it like 15 seconds. Let me see if anybody knows what they see here. I'm cocky, so I'm gonna just tell you right now, most people are not gonna get it. Gotcha. See, because I'm talking about charts. What you see here is reversal patterns. Here, I'll just teach you. Tweezer. There you go. Oh my God, look, you're learning. You see the morning star now, but you see the tweezers, right? Tweezer bottom, tweezer tops. Oh my God, let's destroy somebody's chart. Tweezer top, damn, he sucks. That's the only tweezer top he saw. Tweezer top, come back down into a morning star. You see the tweezer right there? See the tweezer right there? That's how we knew to fucking keep shorting anything under that level. He just knew a little bit about trading, right? Because tweezers, tweezers, right? If you're gonna identify it all the way through before somebody that knows how to master this makes you look crazy, right? Come over here, tweezer top, right? Upward price action, cool. That's the only tweezer you saw, so you missed that one and you missed that one. Morning star into the tweezers, so you missed that one and you missed that one, right? That's why you see that I'm teaching you on here, and then I go to somebody's chart and destroy it. Tweezer tops, all right, amazing. But why you ain't show them about that one? So they could keep shorting. Why you ain't show them about that one? So they could keep shorting. Why you ain't show them about that one? So they could keep shorting. It's because you didn't know, right? All right, so now that everybody sees what a tweezer bottom and a tweezer top is, I'm not gonna break it all the way down. You can ask questions and I will. However, that's what the tweezer bottoms and tweezer tops look like, right? So now take you all the way over here. Bow. Mark your chart. Tweeze the top. Bow. Right? Just the body of the candlestick. That's a little off. That was disrespectful. Let's go ahead and turn our magnet on so it could be perfect. Bow. That's why I chart so quickly because I know how to use my chart, right? I keep my magnet on and I keep it locked. So I don't got to draw and then go click that again. That's retarded, right? So we got to tweeze the top right here. Let's go ahead and get out tweeze the bottom. No reason to draw it right there, but I'm going to still draw it because we got another one right there. Boom. I know you didn't know that was a tweeze the bottom, but there it goes right there. That's the tweeze the top coming down into the tweeze the bottom. Boom, boom, boom. One day I'll probably show you where price is going to go, just like I know that NASDAQ is going to go to 25,000 here soon. However, it should be going to 27,000. However, Right now that I've done that, you walk your chart down. See, most people just don't know how to walk their dog. You know, they got a dog, but they don't walk them, right? Don't just jump all the way down. Go to your 6 month. Now you'll see that Moody's not lying to you, right? Because I just pointed out those tweezer bottoms. Why in the heck did my tweezer top turn into an evening star? Why in the heck did my tweezer bottom, and it's still there, turn into a morning star? There goes your cup and your handle, blast off. There goes your tweezer bottom. Boom, morning star. Wow, you're talking to a professional now. It's just I'm not licensed, so I'm an expert, right? So boom, 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 you keep trailing down, right? When do you get out your trades? Whenever it breaks your fucking reversal pattern. You see how we swept all this liquidity? We never came back for those orders. Bow, keep going, squeeze the bottom again. You don't get out till that shit breaks. I just taught you how to swing. I literally just taught you how to swing, right? And then if you take it down to a 1 month time frame, you'll be able to see. You see that morning star? Then now you see the cup. See the cup? See the water goes inside of here, right? Overflow, right? Boom, handle. Take your ass all the way up. You know to stop. Why? Because what did we just get? See the tweeze bottom? Just got to tweeze top. Calm your ass down. And we broke support. We're over the support. We swept liquidity. Trading is very simple. What's not simple is you managing your emotions and you picking the right person to help you learn how to trade. That's what's not right. I mean, that's what's difficult. Why? Because you don't know who's telling the truth. That's why I get up straight up out of my bed and I do it. And then I chart in front of people. Then close out my eyes like, oh, shit. That's me showing off. Why? Because most people have a whole entire, oh, I get up, I eat breakfast, I do this. I chart. I charted last night. I did this. No, I don't have to do none of that. I did all of that in 2021. Once you actually know the skill and you know what to do, you could trade nakedly just like this, you know? So yeah, that was just me answering that question really quickly. Let me see. When day trading, when price is at your level, how do you decide when you enter? Do you wait for a pullback before entering? It all depends. I love to wait for a pullback, yet the price action is going to show me. It's just like I was showing you the tweets the bottom and the tweets the tops, where it's like, hey, look, let's go to NASDAQ because it moves quicker. Let's drop this down here to 5 seconds because it's just going to move. So I'll do it on 30 second. Right, all right, cool. It's telling me to buy, right? Entry point was right here, right? Which I can still buy it. You see how it came back down? And I said I could still buy it and it ran up. Stop goes right here. Now, after you put your stop there, lower it down so you don't get swept out of liquidity. What do I mean by that? See how this little fucker almost swept them out and you would have got stopped out and it kept going. That's why I'm telling you that. So just put it down a little bit lower. You see? You're in there getting stopped. You see that liquidity? You could have put it right there, but hey, it stopped you out. Point blank, period. How would have been able to get into the trade for the puts? Right here, your previous candle, right there. It's just you're gonna have that one person that's just really scared because he doesn't know what he or she is doing. You shouldn't be scared when trading, right? You should just be taking your move, right? This is a reversal pattern, a tweezer bottom. But how would you really like trade it? This is what you have to understand. It's multiple time frame analysis. Let's just go ahead and delete all of this stuff. Let's see if it'll wait for me, right? You'll enter in here or you'll enter in there to take out a target, drop it down to a smaller time frame. Now you got your little thing, boom, you already knew it. It broke. It's under the tweezers, right? Anything that rejects this under here and keeps holding under here is going to drop, right? And you're going to need to break this level as well here, right? Because that's the range. Now let me go ahead and make that range longer, like a horizontal line, so that I could explain it all the way to the left. Meaning, see that consolidation right there? The chart does the same thing over and over and over. You just got to be able to say, okay, this is when you start to understand when people be lying to you. This is where you want to have a bias. You see, you hear people like, you don't want to be a bias in the market. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. I am a very biased trader. What do I mean by that? Especially if I'm live trading, I'm going to be biased. Hey, we're only looking for calls. If the market tells me to look for puts, and now I'll look for puts. I'm going to be very biased. The market will tell me to change direction if I need to. Why? Because my bias is what's going to help me. Why wouldn't you want to come into this market being biased? If you don't, you're going to come into this market being indecision. Dang, do I go for calls or do I go for puts? What's happening? Now you psychologically just looking at green and red candles. Dang, what's gonna happen? If you don't know how to trade, get off of candlesticks. This is the first candlestick that I learned how to trade, right? Go to Heikin Ashi is a trend trading candlestick, right? I'll give you the biggest gem right here. As soon as you see three green candles, get in your trade. And don't get out until you get a red closure. Same thing. You get three red candles, right? Next trade, get in it. And don't get out until you get a green closure. Point blank, period. And if you trade it and you do it, you'll be like, oh my God, understanding. Well, that's my righteous name, what people call me. You'll see it. That's just three white soldiers, right? That's what I used to trade. Like when I first started, right? You got three white soldiers, and then you got the three black crows. The three black crows will just be going down. Same way, right? Where this is not real price action though. Why? Because every single candlestick is opening up within the next candlestick as you see it, where that doesn't normally happen, right? This is a trend trading candlestick. You see, I told you to get in and don't get out till you get the green candles closures. You could have still held if you know how to read candles because you know that all this was indecision, right? They just had one little morning star that popped out, but it couldn't hold, right? How you had the tweezers right here, you know? So this is another form of just easy trading, meaning knowing how to take the trend and things of that nature. Since you know it's trending down, wait until you get three green closures and pushing in that direction. So you got one, you got two, you get the third one, you take the trade. And do not get mad if it reverses on you. Just keep doing it. Use your 10,000 hours and you'll see. You'll be like, oh, snap. He's not playing. He just gave me a gem. So yeah. I just live my life and what I eat doesn't make you shit. What you eat doesn't make me shit. It doesn't hurt me to give you the information. Why? Because I'm still gonna be trading. I'm still gonna be making my money. It doesn't hurt me for you to make money. You know? It hurts the person that wants you to be subscribed for the rest of their lives. Me, I don't care about that. I'll give you the information for free. I don't care. I'm rich. You can't stop my success. If anything, I want you to be successful, right? So let me see. Let me answer a couple more questions before I jump off here. When marking your levels, do you mark on the bodies or wicks? Always the bodies. Liquidity is the wick. I will always mark the body. You see something on the wick is a horizontal line, and it is to take out the previous liquidity, right? So for example, this candlestick here is trying to go take out this liquidity here, that, right? Just like it wants to take out that liquidity, and it took out this liquidity right there. Tapped it right there, just like this is swung high. Now it's swinging low to take out that liquidity, that liquidity, that liquidity, that liquidity. And that's how you trade, see? Why would it be going straight to my lines? Literally, like literally, right? And now, if it swings high now, it's gonna go take that out, that out, that out, that out, that out. That's how it just goes, right? So when drawing support and resistance, you want to utilize the bodies of your candlesticks. When drawing out liquidity or entry points, you want to utilize your wicks, the top or the bottom, depending on the bias that you're going in. What's the history behind it? Meaning, does it tend to drop for another entry or does it rise after reversal splits? I don't understand that question. What time of the, okay, I remember we actually answered that question. What is your preference? Charting with the wicks or the whole body? Is there a difference? Yeah, I just explained the difference. The bodies of the candlesticks is your meat and potatoes. That's where the money lies and sits at. The wick is no money there. It was there at one point, now it's not. The wicks are liquidity to take out or entry points to get into. The bodies of your candlestick is where the most of the move is at. The body of the candlestick is what you want to be able to do to break out of your trade, right? You see this? This candlestick here had to break over the body of that trade to take out the liquidity to keep running, right? You can see how it ran all the way up there because it was trying to sweep out the liquidity on a smaller time frame up there, right? And you see how you get a whole bunch of rejections right there? That's because it's the body of the candlestick before trying to go take out that liquidity. and then they finally take it out. Boom, now they swing low to take out the rest of them, right? It's called triangle day out. Once you are able to see it, you'll be able to see it. The chart literally makes triangles, meaning starting from here, triangle. You see the line coming down here? All right, now their job is to take out each one of these wicks, right? So they triangle day out. Bow. After that happens, they do it again. You see the line right here? Triangle these little fuckers out. Bow. After that happens, boom, we reverse it back up. You see the line right there? Triangle day out. That's the swing highs, swing lows. See, it happens again. Triangle day out. It just keeps happening. Triangle day out. And that's how we move up the charts, right? Or downward on the charts. What percentage loss are you willing to take on an option position? Do you ever average down on a position? I don't go off of percentages. Um, I just don't like that, right? I think you'll blow your account quicker just going off of percentages, yet that's me. That's not everybody, right? Meaning I like to go off of price action. So like let's just say, right, we're in this trade and let's say I was going for calls since it's going down. I wanted to go up. I'm already in the trade. Let's say my entry point could have been anywhere in here, right? My stop, just looking at the structure, will automatically be somewhere down here under this wick because that's the main liquidity. Most people don't know that because they don't look and see that this candlestick went down, swept out all this liquidity. There ain't no liquidity over there, right? The liquidity is coming from here and up, but they just swept all of that, right? See that one right there? They almost swept them. So once they sweep it a little bit, the main liquidity that they have is right here, and that's why I'm putting my stop a little bit below it, right? It's just like main liquidity was right here. They swept that liquidity and kept going, right? So just giving me the ample amount of time to actually let the trade breathe. Um, so I like to utilize my stops on price action, right? Do I average down into trades? Absolutely. It just depends on how I average down into the trade because I've taken a 50K loss just by doubling down and averaging on a trade. So my emotions are still like, I'm working on them. So when I do average down into a trade, I typically like to just grab a different strike price, right? Instead of putting the money into the same strike price that I'm in. So now that this strike price is actually profitable, maybe up like 30%, and I was down 30% on this one. Now that one's at break even. I have the choice to go ahead and cut that at break even or let it push up to about 15-20%, take those profits while I hold this one. If that one pushed up 20%, I'm out. I'm now at 50% on the other one, right? Um, when day trading, when price is at your level, how do you decide? Okay, we read that one. How do you identify where liquidity is? Is the bottom of your wicks, right? Liquidity right now to this candlestick is right here and as well up there, and up there, right? It's any candlestick like this candlestick came down there, no liquidity there. Everybody took it out. Just like that ran up, took out that liquidity. Ain't no liquidity there no more. The liquidity sitting right here and right there. Literally, right there. That's it. Right. And if they want to take the bottom, they'll take the bottom and then swing it back up. And yo, think we just broke trend line on QQQ. Good stuff, Val. And he said it at 11:11. And I believe that woman's birthday or the child's birthday, she said it was on 11:11 that turned 3. So that's pretty peace. Flag, QQQ. I have to go back and listen in slow motion. Mo laughing out loud. Definitely, you must. You must. What do you mean by when the market tells you it's based off the VIX? No, what I mean by that is going off of the actual charting, right? I know how to read candlesticks, just like I know how to read hieroglyphs, is meaning where it's like, okay, I know overall pattern, bear flag, but that doesn't mean to go with the overall pattern, right? Right now it's moving off of a morning star, right? So I'll need to stay above that level. And I don't really like to read the candlesticks from this point of view because I don't do that anymore. I utilize regular candlesticks where we can see that bear flag, right? However, we know if it leaves this level here and starts to reject under it, that it's going to drop, just like how it's rejecting right here because that's a market structure, right? It's just like how you notice that we were bouncing from those levels like that, right? And now we're rejecting those levels. You see, wow, it'll come back and test. It's testing this. You think it's testing this, but it's literally testing this, right? And it's seeing that it could break back above that reversal pattern. And once you're able to see that, you'll see it. You'll know that, oh, snap, is making an inverse head and shoulders. Moody's just not fast enough to show you. Shoulder, head, shoulder, blast off, right? To complete that move right there, right? So that's what I mean. The market's going to tell me. I can move a little bit slower if I'm on a 5 minute time frame or 10 minute time frame because it's not going to be moving that fast, right? So that's what I mean. And then the VIX provides extra guidance where the volatility of the market will at least allow me to like, see it. Whereas like I'll put it on a 5 minute here, where it's like it's going to show me the inverse of this. Whereas like if I go to VIX, is going to show me. Whereas, like, you see, it's the inverse of it. Whereas, like, now it helps me since I'm such a bullish trader, but I'm a gray shorter. Where it's like, all right, cool. What is that level that I need to break right here? Right? This is too much of a smaller time frame. So I'm going to just take it up a little bit higher. Boom. Look right here. That's the level I need to break right there. I need to be able to break this level. You saw Lawrence do it with Tesla, right? I need to be able to break this level to take out that liquidity. Point blank, period. So I know if I go a little bit under this level even more, I'm definitely going to sweep out this liquidity. Why do I know that? Because this is the support. So if he can't support as it's coming down, you see how it bounced off of the support, the wick, and now it's holding right here with a spinning top. If we can't hold that support off of that spinning top, we go back down because that support is support. You see how it just pushed up a little bit? Boom, is wanting to hold over that, not the wicks, that. And if we go under that, we flush and take the rest of them out, right? To even fall down to the next support to take them out. And that just helps me, right? It is just consistency over time. What what's the pricing for the community? I'm not sure what his pricing is. And I don't think it's appropriate for me to talk about business on his live, even though he's, like, nah, Moody, do your thing. I'm just not that type of person. You won't see me on Instagram trying to sell to you or anything. I pride myself on not selling to you and being able to make money. Thank you, dog. You're more than welcome. Yes, and you are rich in spirit. I am. I'm abundant in spirit. I can predict the future. I can tell you what's gonna happen in the next couple of weeks. I read stars. It's not something that it's just something that came to me. It's just like my son, he watches Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and he sees the moon, he sees the stars. He says, Dad, pyramid, pyramid. It's just what your essence gravitates towards, right? Any tips on setting stops? Yeah, wherever you put your stop at, put your fucking entry. Wherever you put your stop at, put your entry. Try that. Wherever you putting your stop at, like, yo, I'm gonna stop out right here at this trade. Where it's like, yo, if this comes down here, I'm gonna stop. Put your entry right there. Just flip it. That's what most people don't understand. If you're not a profitable trader and you keep getting stopped out, make your stop your entry. It's psychological, right? Great explanation. I appreciate it. We both explained everything pretty well. I was asking about your FYI, Moody. What is FYI for your information? I don't know. I'm not good at abbreviating words. Respect, high integrity. Yeah, my integrity is super high. I don't play. What you mean? I post about my mother. I just sent my mother to the Dominican Republic. I am a 5%er. That goes over people's heads. I cannot lie to you. I will not disrespect my nation. I will not disrespect my father. I speak in truth and I walk in truth, and that's just who I am. That's why you can ask me whatever you want to ask me. I'm obligated to tell you. I can't lie to you if you know who I am. Please don't mess up this live, everyone. Now during trading hours, how's that crazy to ask? No, I don't think anything's crazy to ask. Because it's trading hours and that's a private question. It's only a private question if that person is scared to answer. Like you can ask me whatever you want to ask me. It's okay. We're all human. Your opinion, again, okay, cool. I'm not reading that. I really like your and and a lot. I'm not the best reader, but I appreciate it. I'm taking that as you talking about me and Lawrence. You guys being on so long is overly appreciated. Love you, gents. Love you as well. You a Christian? I hang out with a lot of Christians. I am not a Christian. I don't cling to religion. If I cling to a religion, I'll just tell you my religion is trading because religion is what you do repetitively every single day. That's what religion means. Most people just don't identify words. They don't go to Google or open up a dictionary and say, hey, what does this word actually mean? Let me not lean upon my own understanding and lean upon the Father's understanding, right? No disrespect. I just like to utilize this as an example, right? So here in the American world, we'll say bitch, 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 bitch. All that just meant something different to an American. It could have been girlfriend, this, that, or the third, yet that meant female dog. And that's why when I go to the Bronx and some of my friends, man, you act like a little, you know what I'm saying? It don't offend me. I laugh and they get a little angry. I was like, what you mean? Why? Because I know what that means. That means a female dog. You're not talking about me at all. You're just illiterate and it's okay. But I'm not going to allow that to offend me. However, I grew up as a Catholic. I turned Christian, and then from there, I just say, I'm a spiritual being. I'm a child of God, is what I am. I don't, my mom named me Kelvin. That's my honorable name. People on Instagram call me Moody Bugs. My brothers, in God call me Understanding. That's my name. Understanding means to see clearly with the mind's eye. As far as pushing wisdom power, that's what's up. Because today's supreme mathematics is wisdom power. And what does that mean? Wisdom. Through my wisdom, you shall see the power of who? God, right? And through your power and through what you teach and what you speak, I will see the power that you hold within your wisdom. And what is wisdom? Your experience, one's ways and actions, right? Bro said, teach God. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that means. And then when we put those two pillars together, um, that's wisdom and power. What is power? Power is truth. Most people will say, hey, knowledge is power. You're ignorant. Knowledge is not power. Everybody has knowledge, even the devil, even the people that are doing evil things to us out here. They have knowledge and wisdom. What they don't have is understanding, or they wouldn't treat everybody like that because we're all one, right? So, what's power is the truth. Just like I'm talking right now. Why? Because the truth shall set you free and it will free the dome, free the mind, right? The biggest battle is your mind. That's what you have to understand. And if you don't know the battle of the mind, you won't be able to get through a lot of things. And that's why these things are very important because you'll take these teachings into your trading. You'll take these teachings into how you walk and live your life, right? So if I was to add both of those numbers up, 2 and 5, what do I get? 7, which that's the number of God, right? Um, so yeah, some people get a little bit weird or like, oh man, you talking about, I'm saying me, what I say is if I can't speak about God, I don't want to be around because God is the creator of all things. God is the reason we're here, right? Jesus is the truth, and that's peace. And I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? You have people that get this knowledge and say, oh, Jesus is not God. That is crazy. You're blasphemous. Jesus is God, just like Allah is God. You know what I'm saying? It's just I look at it differently, where Jesus is not my God. Jesus is my brother, right? Because I listen and I read. And what does that word says? If you go to our Father, that's what he said, understanding. He said, if you go to our Father, right? So if he's saying our, what does that makes that? That means that's my father too. So if you're saying our, what does that make you to me? That means you're my brother. Do not worship me. That's what Yahshua said. Do not worship me. Go unto the Father, and you shall do greater works than I. The thing is when you hear me speak, you hear my Father, because I am one with my Father. Yet when you hear me speak, you hear my Father, because my Father is greater than I. It's just one. And yet it takes time to be able to get to this perspective in life because you have to love one another. You have to come from a place of loving, right? Not from a place of, hey, this is what they're doing on Christmas. This is what they're doing in the New Year. God doesn't teach about that. God teaches you about righteousness. God teaches you about how to love one another. God doesn't sit here and be like, hey, that person's evil. No, let him be evil and let you be righteous so that you can show that evil person how to be righteous. Point blank, period, right? So let me pass the floor over to Lawrence. This was an amazing, great live. Um, yeah, man. make sure that you subscribe to his channel. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, I'm Moody Bugs, MoodyBugz. I definitely feel like we should do like a charting class, whether it's while the market is opening or the market's closed, just to provide great value to the people. We're in the week of Thanksgiving, we're in the month of Thanksgiving. So let's just make sure that we're giving back what Allah has taught me with my skill is this is not just for you, Moody. This is for you to be able to help yourself, yet this is for you to be able to help my people, right? So it's easy for me to make money. It's just not easy for me to get you closer to God, right? It's a choice that you have to be able to make. So the Father allowed me to be able to make money very, very easily so that I can carry upon his job, which is Luke 2:49. Go look it up. And I am about my Father's business. So if you're not about my Father's business, you don't want to be around me because it will come out. He has me at work and I am a vessel for the righteous.
Sir. Appreciate y'all. Get y'all give it up again for Moody today.
Y'all give it up
You
for
know,
Ron.
yes, sir. It's he should be able to drop it in the chat, or someone could do that for him, or he'll do it. So, yep. I mean, this has been 3 hours, going on 3 hours. So hopefully everybody's been able to get a ton of information. He should be sharing this. There it is, right there. So you guys can go follow him right there. This 3 hours was impactful. A lot of good stuff to take away. Hopefully, you guys use this information really for your success in the long term and here as well in the interim in the short term. So, been a lot of good things to come out of today's session, and excited to continue this thing forward. So we're gonna go ahead and shut this thing down. Conclude. This live will be saved on YouTube, so you can definitely replay this thing. We appreciate everybody for their time. Very grateful, and we'll see you guys again soon. So y'all have a blessed day.
It's love.